from Oakland last year as they went on to that surprising record of 9-7. However, this season thus far, Seattle at 0-2, disappointing. The same for Oakland at 1 up and 1 down. Hi, everybody. I'm Marv Albert, working along with Mike HAFFNER. And Mike, when we talk about these two ball clubs, we're talking about two teams that have been hard hit by injury.
The Oakland Raiders have lost 3 starters in the offensive line. You can't do that in the National Football League. And they've also lost 2 starters on defense, and that will crumble any football team.
And the Seahawks also hit by injury, in particular the one that hurts running back David Sims out of action.
That's true, and again, in the situation with the Seahawks, they haven't got that much depth because they're a young club, and you can't afford injuries because the depth isn't there.
And we will see today a matchup of the only 2 starting left-handed quarterbacks in the NFL.
And both have not had great starts. Kenny Stabler, obviously, because of the poor blocking in the offensive line, and Jim Zorn has had a lot of passes dropped, and that'll hurt any quarterback.
So to be Zorn and Stabler as the Oakland Raiders go up against the Seattle Seahawks here at the Kingdom. We'll have the action shortly, and we'll be back right after we hear these messages.
Those magnificent men and their flying machines.
Let's take her up.
Gotcha, Dad.
Some guys just can't get enough of flying, even when they fly for a living. Call them dedicated, call them perfectionists. In the friendly skies, we call them captain.
Those magnificent men and their flying machines. They go up into the friendly skies. Fly the friendly skies.
Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines. Ladies and gentlemen, protect your engines. The same way 31 out of 35 of this year's Indy 500 drivers do in their everyday driving with Valvoline motor oil. Because stop-and-go driving can punish your engine as much as 500 miles of speedway driving can punish an IndyCar's engine. And Valvoline can take the heat, protects your engine, helps make it last. Ladies and gentlemen, protect your engines with Valvoline. It's not just for winning races.
That's Kathy Willis. She teaches at our school. I bet she's worried now about that problem dandruff of hers. I wish she'd ask me.
Mr. Owens, which shampoo do you think?
Ever tried Tegrin?
Does it really work?
Well, in a national survey, 3 out of 4 dermatologists judge the medicated ingredient in Tegrin effective in fighting even problem dandruff.
I'll give it a test.
How's that dandruff problem?
I'll give Tegrin an A+, Mr. Owens.
Prove it to yourself. Tegrin works.
Here's what Roden Track's Letter from Europe columnist had to say about the new Audi 4000 after a run through Germany, Switzerland, Italy, and France. A brilliant piece of engineering. By far the best car announced in the past year. In fact, it's the best full-size European car under 2 liters. Test drive the new Audi 4000 at your Porsche Audi dealer and see if you don't agree.
We've got lots of football ahead. We'll be ready for the kickoff of today's game following these words from your local stations.
A brutal rape, and now her mother's out for justice. Mrs. R's daughter, Wednesday, September 19th.
Marvelous.
I have a picture just like that.
It's a painting.
What kind of car are you driving?
A 1979 Volkswagen Rabbit.
How can you tell it's a Rabbit?
Careful.
Those cars all look alike to me.
You obviously have not driven a Rabbit, my good man.
But there are so many cars that cost less. Why a new Rabbit?
Because who would own a copy when he can own the original?
Volkswagen does it again.
Bond fall fashion for business days and elegant evenings. Evan B. Cohn and College Town separates for the businesswoman around town, $26 to $108. Play it again Tweety workwear suits. Fine suited looks in both junior and missy sizes, $82. Play it again in Daniel O. Chic, sleek, and slim suits for a more formal look, $86 to $180. Fall fashion, the Bond, of course.
Okay, let's check the Mariner news. Tough game last night. Let's check the football headlines. Last night, hello, Mr. Sports. Babe Ruth, It wasn't?
When it comes to sports, most radio stations give you a one-man show. But the KVI Sports page gives you a whole team who bring you the inside story on sports for 2 hours every weeknight. The KVI 570 Sports page, weeknights at 6. Because we don't think one man can do it all.
Hello, Mr. Sports.
Join us for King 5 News at 5:30 and 11.
NBC Sports presents the best of the National Football League, the American Football Conference. Brought to you by Budweiser. For all you do, this Bud's for you. By Hertz, where the winners rent. By Chrysler Corporation. See the mileage makers at your Dodge or Chrysler Plymouth dealers. And by Radio Shack, the nationwide supermarket of sound.
And we welcome you back to the Kingdome in Seattle, Washington. This is Marv Albert with Mike Haffner, and we're set for the Oakland Raiders and the Seattle Seahawks. Seahawks have won the toss. They will receive. The man on the left, Jack Patera, head coach of the Seattle Seahawks, a man who brought this club from a record of 2-12 in their first year to 9-7 in their third year last season. And Tom Flores, head coach of the Raiders, on the right.
And I played against Tom Flores when he was with the Oakland Raiders. Had a couple 400-yard passing days. We might see that this afternoon from either one of our quarterbacks.
For the Oakland Raiders, Ray Guy getting set to kick. And back deep, Al Hunter on the right, number 24. And Jeff Moore, number 32, the rookie out of Jackson State, on the left. Here's Guy, and we're underway. And this is Hunter in the end zone. To the 10, 15, and hauled down across the 15-yard line. Rufus Bess, backup cornerback, in on the stop on number 24, Al Hunter.
And look at those high-top shoes. Hunter's got some special deal. I'll tell you, for those who watch special teams closely, anytime you keep the receiving team inside the 20-yard line on a kickoff, you've done an outstanding job. And the Seahawks need some offense right away, Marv.
The quarterback is Jim Zorn. Sherman Smith averaging 5 per carry. And Dan Dorning replacing the injured David Sims. That's the tight end. Pete's moving over to the right side. Largent in motion. And here's Smith. Sherman Smith picking up short yardage on the play. 4-year pro out of Miami of Ohio. Stopped by the right inside linebacker Phil Villapiano. Offensive receivers Sam McCullum, Steve Largent, Brian Peets.
And Largent, one of the best wide receivers in the National Football League.
Has been suffering with double coverage over the first 2 games. Offensive line, Bullard, Lynch, Yarno, Coder, and August.
Pressure on Coder. He's filling in for the injury of Newton.
Second down play. Here's Smith. Finding a hole, gets across the 20. Dave Browning, the right defensive end, and Dave Peer, middle guard, making the stop for the Oakland Raiders.
Offensive coordinator of Seattle, Jerry Rome, says his running game is very, very important. We've got a flag down.
It is a 2nd and 11 prior to that last run by Sherman Smith. The referee today is Gordon McConnor. The umpire, Tony Kramer. The head linesman, Bill Ross. The line judge, Jack Fetty. The back judge, Ray Douglas. Side judge, Bill Quimby. And the field judge is Armin Terzian. Here's the call. Apparently we're having difficulty with the field mic. Offside the call against Oakland. And it will be a 2nd and 6 for the Seahawks at their 22.
And again, I want to emphasize that Seattle must have some offensive production early, or they'll be in trouble in this game.
Zorn is yet to throw. He threw 45 times last week against Miami. Off the long count, again the handoff. And this is Dan Dorning. And And he's picked up the first down. Peer and Johnson combining to make the stop. Dan Dornick was acquired in a trade with the Giants, a trade that mystified people in New York. As we look at that Oakland defensive line of Willie Jones, Dave Peer, Dave Browning.
Willie Jones starting obviously for Marv Matuzak. There are the linebackers, Hendricks, Johnson, Villapiano, and Martin. Villapiano having trouble adjusting to that inside linebacker spot. He'd been outside before.
And the secondary of Hayes, Williams, Phillips, and Tatum. Henry Williams replacing the injured Monty Jackson at right corner.
And that's got to hurt the Raiders.
It is a first down for Seattle at their 29-yard line. Early moments of play here at the Kingdome. Again, on the ground, Sherman Smith, and a long gainer up near that first down marker, Rod Martin, number 53. Outside linebacker on the right side, making the stop.
Tremendous success for Seattle running inside. They ran very, very well against Dallas in the preseason, and that set up a big win over the Cowboys in that preseason game, and it was because of the inside running, just like that, of Sherman Smith, that they were successful.
Here are the yardsticks. It is close to a first down up at the 39-yard line. And he's got it. The Seahawks first down as Coach Jack Patera looks on. First down at the 39. Sherman Smith, Dan Dornick are the setbacks. The tight end is Brian Peets. The wide receivers now Sam McCullum and Steve Rabel.
Rabel's having a big year. One of the fastest wide receivers in the National Football League and the fastest player on the Seahawks.
And he has caught the only touchdown pass thrown by Jim Zorn thus far this season. Zorn yet to pass. Sherman Smith again breaks it across the 45. Johnson and Villapiano finally able to wrestle him down.
The Raiders play a 3-4 defense, and in order to beat that 3-4 with the rushing game, you've got to run inside. And watch Hendricks on this play. It's pursuit by the linebackers that help stop the run. And here he gets walled off. Dornick does a great job of keeping Hendricks out of the play, and that means success on the ground.
All right, Mike, an 8-yard advance for Smith. 2nd and 2 for Seattle. They have stayed on the ground right throughout. Largent peeling off. This time, Gordon, first down and more. Gordon spinning down to the 40-yard line. Charles Phillips, number 47, the strong safety, able to bring him down.
The inside linebackers for the Raiders, and again, I mentioned Villapiano was having problems adjusting inside. Monty Johnson, 58, the other inside linebacker, and he overruns the play. And in the 3-4 defense, if you allow the back to the secondary, he's going to gain a ton of yardage. Dornick, what a great pickup. Comes from Washington State. Now watch Johnson inside. You can see that he overruns the play, tries to react back, and it gives Dornick the big hole to gain the yardage. Great camera work.
First down at the Oakland 40-yard line. Long count, Zorn to throw for the first time. Fires the large, and he's got it. Touchdown. Steve Largent decisively beating the strong safety Charles Phillips, and the Seahawks take a 6-0 lead.
Jim Zorn dropping back in its zone coverage. Phillips has the wide side to the right. He makes a mistake. You can see that he was beaten badly. Didn't get the deep third of the field. Largent, he just walks in the end zone casually. An excellent throw by Jim Zorn. He read the deep zone well, saw that Phillips was out of position, and oh, why didn't I have easy catches like that when I was playing?
And here is Efren Herrera, who was a doubtful because of a sore knee, driving it right through.
Caromed it off the goalpost. They all look like they went down the pipe in the scorebook.
The Seattle Seahawks with a 7-0 lead over Oakland. Back in a moment.
This Bud's for all the people who make the sidelines a part of the show.
This Bud's for you. For all you do, the king of beers is coming through.
Yeah, just for you, that distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
For all you do.
This Bud's for you.
make way for the 80s, your Dodge dealer has to sell a lot of cars, trucks, and vans. And that's why Chrysler Corporation gave dealers the biggest cash incentives in Chrysler's history. Big discounts they can pass on to you. Come and see the low prices marked right on those cars, trucks, and vans. You'll get what may be the best deal you ever made. And only Chrysler Corporation tops your deal with a $400 check. Not Ford, not GM. Come to Dodge and check it out.
Efren Herrera getting set to kick off to Joe Stewart, number 80, Ira Matthews, number 43. That's Stewart on the left. Second-year man out of Missouri. Matthews at 5'8", 175 pounds, out of Wisconsin in his rookie season. The Seahawks jumping to a 7-0 lead early in this first quarter as Zorn and Largent hooked up on a 40-yard pass play, and Herrera's going to have to tee up the football again.
There's no wind in here. I know the wind didn't blow it off.
Mike, I mentioned Herrera was a doubtful because of a sore knee, and the man who would have backed up Herrera or would have taken over the kicking duties today, number 10, Jim Zorn.
Isn't that something, a starting quarterback?
It's a line drive taken by Stewart to the 15. Looks to go outside, but excellent coverage by the Seahawks. So Stewart is pinned in. Combination of Michael Jackson and Cornell Webster bringing him down.
There's Kenny Stabler trotting on the field, Marv.
Running backs Art Whittington and Mark Van Egan. Cliff Branch, Rich Martini replacing the injured Morris Bradshaw, and the tight end Raymond Chester as Stabler goes to work for the first time. 1st and 10 at the 17. And this is Whittington looking to turn the corner. Could not. Good pursuit by the free safety, John Harris.
John Harris again was in zone and had run responsibility, and when you try to run wide against the zone defense, a lot of time that safety will be up there to make the tackle for almost no gain.
Pickup of 2, 2nd and 8 as you look at that Raider offensive line. Many a fill-in right there. Steve Sylvester is normally a backup center. Dan Medlin starting at right guard. He was picked up as a free agent after being dropped by Buffalo.
And again, 3 offensive linemen down. That's trouble for the Raiders.
2nd and 8 for Stabler. And he's throwing deep down the left side. Oh, Cliff Branch with a gorgeous catch and a foot race with Dave Brown, the right cornerback.
And strictly a foot race, and you don't want to get into a foot race with a world-class sprinter, as Cliff Branch was at the University of Colorado. Kenny Stabler can still do it, can he? A long bomb, and there's been a question about Dave Brown, the cornerback who they got from Pittsburgh, and he was beaten last week on a deep pass, and anybody can do it when Branch has that kind of speed.
It is a 46-yard pass play, making for a first down for Oakland at the Seattle 34-yard line. Stabler and Branch hooking up. Stabler comes in, completing only 47%. Here's Van Egan off the left side. Down to the 30-yard line. Right defensive tackle, Mano Tuiasosopo. I've been rehearsing that all
job
right throughout the week. Ernie Price, Robert Hartburn Hardy, Tuiasosopo, and Gregory.
And we'll see a lot of Carl Eller, the All-Pro from Minnesota, who is here. There are the linebackers for the Seahawks. Watch Terry Beeson. He plays the run as well as any middle linebacker in the league.
2nd and 5 for Oakland. At the Seahawk 29, swing pass completed to Whittington. And he's bumped out by Dave Brown, short of the first down. There is Art Whittington, a 2nd-year pro out of Southern Methodist. Only a 9th-round draft pick last year. Gained 661 yards. That's the most ever by an Oakland Raider rookie. Also scored 7 touchdowns.
When you've got his kind of speed, you can compete in this league.
It is a 3rd and 1. And the Raiders go to the double tight end offense. Dave Casper checks in to combine with Raymond Chester. The crowd urging on the Seahawk defense. And the give is to Whittington. It is very close. Tripped up by John Harris, but held short of the first down.
outstanding play by Harris. We saw him do about the exact same thing when the drive started. Again, he was in the zone, had run responsibility, and even with Whittington's speed, he couldn't get outside.
Eric Jensen has just replaced Mark Van Egan. And now Van Egan reports back in as the Raiders will go for the first down on 4th and about 1.
They have 2 fullbacks in there, Marv, and that means they're going smash football, trying to get that first.
And this is Van Egan slashing to the left. And it appears that he picked it up.
The lead block by Jensen and a wise move by head coach Tom Flores put the power blocking fullback in to lead block, and he got him the first down.
8.5 remaining first quarter. Seahawks lead it by the score of 7-0. 40-yard pass play. Zorn with his second touchdown of the season, hitting his favorite receiver, Steve Largent, who had been very, very quiet.
Had a sprained ankle in the first game, and it really cut down his speed and his moves.
First down at the 24-yard line for the Raiders. And this is Whittington, bottled up. Tried the right side, ran into a wall led by Robert Hartburn Hardy. And the left linebacker, Sammy Green, combining to make the stop. Now Casper checks back in.
The Seahawks have been effective against the running game. Their problem has been stopping the pass, and we saw Branch beat Brown. And I would imagine that Stabler will go back upstairs and try and beat the Seahawk defense.
Well, he has Branch out to the left, Martini to the right, and the tight end Casper has come on for Chester. 2nd and 8. And Stabler to throw. And it is dropped. Casper not able to hold on. He tried to come back forward. He was covered by the strong safety, Autry Beeman.
And Dave Casper has one problem starting this season. He was a holdout right up until the first game. And the last thing that comes to you when you get that latest start are the legs. And if you haven't got the legs underneath, you don't catch the football. He just didn't have the control. He should have had that one.
Last year, Casper led all NFL tight ends, 62 receptions, 852 yards, 9 touchdowns. His next catch will be his first this season. It is a 3rd and 8 at the 22. 5 defensive backs in there for Seattle. Penalty markers are down. Stabler with time guns it, and it is broken up, but a flag is down. The official threw his cap. Rich Martini was jarred by Cornell Webster.
You know why he threw his cap, Marv? He was the one who threw the penalty flag for the motion by the Raiders. He had no penalty flag for the pass interference, so he threw his hat.
That is the line judge, Jack Fetty.
That's thinking, isn't it? No flag to throw for the second one.
Motion penalty indicated on the Raiders, and a pass interference against Seattle.
Oh, Jack Fetty, you're a man who can think fast. Used his hat for the second flag.
Offsetting penalties. And we go back to a 3rd and 8 at the 22. 7.5 left in this first quarter. Seahawks leading the Raiders by the score of 7-0. Oakland has never won a game here at the Kingdome. Even lost in preseason a couple of years back. Stabler again with protection, and he's got Branch down to the 11-yard line. Cliff Branch cutting over to the right side was brought down by the left cornerback Cornell Webster. So the Oakland Raiders pick up a first down at the 11.
And Cliff Branch had the right pattern at the right time. It was a zone defense with the 5 defensive backs. He got in between the deep and short coverage, wide open, and Kenny Stabler found him. And Stabler read it well also. You see now that Stabler can see zone. He knows that Branch is between the linebackers and the defensive backs, and he just waits for him to clear to an open spot. First down.
Stabler is 3 out of 4 for 62 yards. The give to Whittington. In traffic, able to break 1 tackle, but that's it. Art Whittington could not make the turn. Cree Beeman making the stop. Well, the Denver Broncos have defeated Atlanta in overtime, 20-17.
Jim Turner kicked a 25-yard field goal, 8:45 into overtime. There's the Jets score. They beat Detroit today. Detroit having quarterback problems, and the Jets have more quarterbacks than they know what to do with.
Jets bouncing back from the 56-3 loss against New England. And the Patriots defeating the Bengals in a close one, a surprise there.
Cincinnati was blown out last week by Buffalo.
2nd and 11. At the 12 as Whittington lost a yard on the play here. Stabler throwing for the 5th time, and it's broken up. Beautiful move by Sammy Green, number 56, to bat it away from Rich Martini.
Sammy Green is the most active linebacker for the Seahawks. He's their best pass defender. And Stabler, I don't know about this throw. He tried to stick it in there, and there were too many Seahawks around his receiver. You can't throw those. That's why the interceptions come. Oh, I like Sammy Green.
He is a 4-year pro out of the University of Florida, 2nd-round draft pick back in '76. Dave Casper has checked back in, replacing Raymond Chester. Branch left, Martini right, 3rd and 11. From the 12, and a mix-up on the snap. John Harris able to get to Stabler.
The Seahawks went with a safety blitz with Harris, number 44. You can see him coming right up to Stabler, and I think it disconcerted Kenny a bit, and he fumbled the snap, and now he has no chance because the back couldn't get up to block Harris and pick up the blitz, and Stabler is sacked. Excellent call by the defensive coordinator of Seattle.
As we look at Jim Breach, 1st-year pro out of the University of California, and he will attempt a 33-yard field goal. He is 2 for 2 thus far, and this well within his range. Excellent between the 30 and 40. However, this one is off to the left side, so Breach has missed for the first time this year.
And the Raiders really needed to come up with points on that drive because Seattle went right down and scored, and right now the Seahawks have the edge.
I got my start playing golf driving a tractor.
Arnold Palmer, back home in Latrobe, Pennsylvania.
My father was pro here, but before he taught me to play golf, he taught me to treat the equipment right. So, we used Pennzoil, and I think that old tractor of ours lasted 30 years or more. Look, if Pennzoil and I hadn't taken good care of the equipment, I might have never gotten on the golf course.
Pennzoil, America's ask-for motor oil.
Radio Shack has slashed the price on one of our top-of-the-line stereo systems. Right now, save $310 on this impressive realistic hi-fi. You get this quality AM/FM stereo receiver, a pair of realistic tower speakers, and this precision belt drive turntable, all for only $579. A great entertainment bargain and a beautiful addition to your home. The sale-priced realistic stereo system, just $579, only at Radio Shack, a Tandy company.
On Sports World, Phil Boggs and Cynthia Potter are scheduled to lead an Olympic-class field in World Cup diving. Then watch the rubber and dirt fly in gutsy USAC dirt track racing next Saturday. NBC Sports, we're proud.
That's Sports World here on NBC, and keep in mind the switch to Saturdays. Next Saturday at 5 o'clock. Jim Breach hooking to the left on his 33-yard field goal attempt. And the Seahawks take over 1st and 10 at their 20. They lead it by the score of 7-0. We have 5:25 remaining in this first quarter. The running backs are Dornink and Smith as Zorn gives to Smith. And in that backfield very quickly, Ted Hendricks all over Sherman Smith.
Hendricks red run right away, and he's one of the premier outside linebackers in the NFL. You don't fool him very often.
The Philadelphia Eagles have defeated the New Orleans Saints by the score of 26-14.
New Orleans finally getting in the win column. There is a close game. Baltimore having its problems, and Cleveland 3-0. And will they challenge Pittsburgh? I doubt it.
You ask the questions and answer them.
I'm sorry.
All right, it's a 2nd and 14. Back at the 16-yard line off the loss on the play. That was Rabel in motion. Nice fake by Zorn. Here's Dornink. Again Dan Dorning picking up extra yardage with the second effort out near the 25-yard line. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League, and it's intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Seattle Seahawks and the National Football League is prohibited. It'll be a 3rd and 5 out at the 25.
You mentioned Dan Dornick. He played his college football at Washington State and his high school football right in the state also.
And during the offseason, attends medical school in this area. Acquired from the New York Giants for future draft picks. Here's 3rd and 5 for Zorn in traffic. And completes for the first down and more as Dornick takes it across the 40. Filipiano making the stop.
Dornick must have thought he died and went to heaven when the Giants traded him to his home state. And I'll tell you, Jim Zorn picks up his secondary receiver as well as any quarterback in the National Football League. Here he was looking downfield, saw everyone covered, picked out his fullback in the flat. And Dornick is a football player. Why did the Giants let him go?
A question that will be asked again following this ball game back in New York if things continue to go the way they have been. Dornick actually looked very good in his brief appearances last year, then was injured and had a good preseason.
The Giants have severe running back problems.
First down out at the 42-yard line on the good fake again by Zorn. He overthrows and Tatum is not able to hold on. Jack Tatum had it, and he is really upset with himself and hearing it from the crowd as he fired the football away.
I'll tell you, Jack Tatum was running for a touchdown. That was his problem. Jim Zorn had a deep receiver and a short receiver, and he threw almost in between them. Over the top of Largent's head. And look at Jack. He's running for 6 and forgot something, that brown pigskin. Yeah, there's the reaction. Yes, he knows. He knows.
It is a 2nd and 10 at the Seahawk 42. Just under 3 left first quarter. Seattle leading 7-0. 40-yard pass play. Zorn and Largent combining. Zorn throws a wobbler. It was deflected, and this time up short on Tatum. Sam McCullum, the intended receiver.
I should have had my shotgun out. I could have shot that duck. He got his arm hit, I think, or it was tipped just as it left his hand. It wasn't a typical Jim Zorn throw.
It'll be a 3rd and 10 upcoming. The Dolphins leading the Vikings 20-12 in the 4th.
Don Strock has 2 touchdown passes, one to Larry Zonka, one to Jim Cefalo, both 6 yards.
And Tampa Bay over Green Bay playing in the 4th quarter. Buccaneers lead it 21-3.
Look out for the Buccaneers in the NFC Central. They could win it all.
Incredible how the 2 expansion clubs, Seattle and Tampa Bay, have come on in a very short stretch of time. 3rd and 10 for the Seahawks.
Zorn audibilizing. He's going to the pass.
That is Dorning breaking left. As Zorn looking to throw on the run, does just that, and he has Largent, but he throws it away. Out of bounds. That ball just tailed away. Largent was open.
And he was upset. You saw him unsnap the chin strap. Jim Zorn had him wide open, but he was under a lot of pressure on his roll to the right or to the left, and he couldn't get him the ball. He was way behind the secondary.
First punting situation for Herman Weaver. And this is Ira Matthews back as the deep man, the rookie out of Wisconsin.
Thunderfoot having his best start ever in the National Football League, and he's been around for about 10 years.
He's averaging 41 per punt. That's up some 5 yards from last year. Good hang time on this one. And Matthews, for a moment, appeared to call fair catch, and he should have. He tried to run it out of danger, and Cornell Webster was all over him. Beautiful punt, 47 yards by Herman Weaver. All right, a timeout. Back after this.
New car prices got you on the run?
Get a Hertz, get a Hertz, get a Hertz. Get a Hertz, get a Hertz, get a Hertz. Get a Hertz, get a Hertz, get a Hertz. Get a Hertz, get a Hertz.
Get a great car buy at Hertz Buy a Car. We sell only the best cars from the Hertz Rent-A-Car fleet. And we give you the complete service and maintenance records so you know exactly what you're getting.
Get a Hertz, get a Hertz, get a Hertz. Get a Hertz.
Hertz, buy a car. Call toll-free for nearest location.
This bud's for everybody who helps keep our country on the move.
This bud's for you. You're working hard all day just like you always do.
This bud's for you. For all you do, the king of beers is coming through.
Yeah, just for you, that distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
For all you do.
This bud's for you.
Opening Tuesday, Lobo's in hot water when he meets the real shark from Jaws. Then Burt Reynolds and Chris Christopherson star in Semi-Tough, both Tuesday on NBC.
Back at the Kingdome, Seattle, Washington. This is Marv Albert with Mike Haffner. The Seahawks lead it by the score of 7-0. We have 2:32 left first quarter. And the Raiders will take over back at their 9-yard line.
You don't want to start at your own 9, trailing by 7. Cut your offense down. You can't do that much.
Ken Stabler 3 for 5, 62 yards thus far. He has Van Egan and Whittington as the setback. And this is Whittington. Not able to make the move outside. Ernie Price, number 62, right defensive end. Able to make the stop. Picked up maybe a half yard on the play.
And again, that defensive secondary of the Seahawks, when they read run, they are outstanding. Cornell Webster was up to help on the tackle. They play the run well.
Dave Dolby, number 50. Veteran center leading the Raiders up to the line of scrimmage. Branch and Martini are the wide receivers, second and about 9. And again to give, this time Van Egan out to the 13-yard line. Stopped by Heartburn Hardy and Autry Beeman. You know why they call him Heartburn?
He gives quarterbacks heartburn when he rushes the passer. Not bad for a 10th round draft choice, I'll tell you.
That is the definition that Robert supplies. He is a rookie out of Jackson State. That defensive front four with Price, Tuiasosopo, and Gregory. It is a 3rd and about 5 for Oakland. This is Whittington, and down he goes. Tuiasosopo showing his quickness and getting to Art Whittington. And now the Raiders are forced to punt.
Oh, I'd like to talk about my UCLA guys. Tuiasosopo, the #1 pick. Jack Patera's special pick on the first round out of UCLA. And you know why now? The big man has got some speed. And when you catch a back that runs 4.4, you're an awful quick defensive tackle.
This is Jeff Moore, another rookie out of Jackson State, averaging 8.5 per punt return. Ray Guy will boot for the first time. He's averaging just over 41. Of course, one of the premier punters in the National Football League. 30 seconds remaining in this first quarter. Raiders letting the clock run down. Now here is Guy popping one out to Moore. Takes it to 45, fumbles, and recovers.
Oh,
well, Jeff Moore able to cover up. And the Seahawks will take over right there with time running down in this first quarter.
And I'll tell you, when you put a rookie back there to receive punts, it makes it awfully difficult. They tend to get nervous.
All right, back after these words.
Ram power. Dodge gives you Ram power.
Now Dodge fans go beyond tough. They're Ram tough. Galvanized steel for critical area rust protection. More than Ford or Chevy. And with optional 3-speed automatic, the best V8 mileage ratings. More than Ford or Chevy. Dodge fans. Engineered by Chrysler to go beyond tough.
Dodge trucks are Ram tough.
Super automotive values from Sears. Dynaglass belted 25 tires are on their way to Sears Tire and Auto Centers. Right now, save $16 to $32 on a set of 4. It's a big national truckload sale on Sears' best-selling belted tires. Now get the Sears Heavy Duty Shock, just $9.99 each installed. Smooth out some of the jolts, jars, and jerks with America's best-selling shock, installed only $9.99. At Sears, where America shops for value.
Seattle first down at the Oakland 43-yard line following that punt by Ray Guy. that Jeff Moore nearly gave right back to the Raiders. There you see the Jim Zorn story thus far. He completed a 40-yard touchdown pass with Steve Largent. Smith and Dorning are the running backs. Off the play action, Zorn able to complete a beautiful catch by Sherman Smith coming out of the backfield. Monty Johnson, the linebacker on the left side, able to make the tackle.
And Sherman Smith not only runs the football well, but he can catch the football. And watch the hands on this young man. Right on the fingertips, great concentration. That makes a quarterback look good.
The first quarter has come to an end. When we resume, Seattle will take over. First down at the Oakland 21. At the end of the first, the score, Seattle 7, Oakland nothing. We'll be back after these messages from your local station.
Opening tonight, it's the hilarious Disney comedy classic.
We've got the flubber.
Fred McMurray stars as the absent-minded professor. Then, on the Sunday big event, a 3-hour spectacle, Bob Hope on the road to China. Tonight.
NBC proud as a peacock.
Who'd ever think a car that looks like this could get good gas mileage like this? Based on EPA estimates, the Porsche 924 can go 278 miles in the city or 524 miles on the highway with just a single tank of gas. The Porsche 924. Who ever thought a Porsche could be this practical?
Saw a duck and a chicken down by the barn, kicking up the hay and raising such a storm that I asked the farmer what they were up to, and he said, "Puyallup, that's what they do." You can do it at a trot, you can do it at a gallop, you can do it real slow so your heart won't palpitate. Just don't be late.
The Great Puyallup is going on now through September 23rd. And even if you've seen it once, you haven't seen it all.
Puyallup.
This is Channel 5, Seattle.
Back in Seattle at the Kingdome, this is Marv Albert with Mike Haffner. Second quarter just getting underway, and the Seahawks lead it by the score of 7-0. Seattle with a solid first quarter. No turnovers committed. That had been their problem coming in. They come in with a record of 0-2, losing to San Diego in their opener last Sunday, losing at Miami 19-10. Penalty marker is down as the play unfolds. Sherman Smith trying the right side.
Somebody jumped too soon, Marv. We'll have to find out from... It was a Seahawk.
Procedure penalty against the Seahawks. Dallas and Chicago tied at 7 in the first quarter.
Oh, how about that one? St. Louis 6, Pittsburgh nothing. I thought nobody could touch the Steelers, but it's early.
12-yard run by Otis Anderson. They missed the extra point, and San Francisco leading Los Angeles 10-0.
Wow.
Chargers leading the Bills 7-6 in the first quarter.
Chargers the team to beat in the AFC West, they say. It's still early. 16 games in a season. Anything can happen.
Well, San Diego has taken its toll on both ball clubs out here. 33-16 over Seattle. And last week, the Raiders blown out 30-10 in San Diego, trailing 21-3 at halftime as Dan Fouts threw for 3. It's 1st and 15 now for the Seahawks. Back at the 26-yard line, and here is Zorn to throw. And a diving catch is made by McCullum. Sam McCullum, who has been the dependable receiver over the first 2 games, is a 6-year pro out of Montana State and made the good move to come up with it in front of Henry Williams, the right cornerback.
Again, the out pattern, and you can see that Jim Zorn has been concentrating all week on his accuracy, and his receivers, who have been dropping the ball on him most of the season so far, have come around, and the hands have come back to them, thank goodness.
It'll be a 2nd and about 6 at the 17-yard line. 84 McCullum to the right now, and Largent out left. This is Smith. It's a hole. Pulls his way first round. Corbin Smith cutting left and then right and was hammered down by the strong safety Charles Phillips.
And again, that inside running game of Seattle, and although they didn't run to the side that Marv Matuzak usually plays on, and again, he's out for this game with a bad shoulder, you can see that the Raiders against the run have really given up tons of yardage, and that's opened up Jim Zorn's passing. That's why the Seahawks have the lead and marching.
Well, a field goal by Steve Lewis from 22 yards out, and the Cardinals now lead the Pittsburgh Steelers 9-0. First and goal for Seattle. And Smith has bottled up at the line of scrimmage. 74, Dave Peer, and Rod Martin, right outside linebacker, making the stop. 3-4 defensive alignment utilized by Tom Flores, Willie Jones, Dave Peer, Dave Browning up front, Ted Hendricks, Monty Johnson, Phil Villapiano, Rod Martin, the linebackers, Lester Hayes and Henry Williams are at the corners, and Charles Phillips and Jack Caden are the deep men. Sherman Smith, 6'4", 225 pounds, averaging better than 5 per carry. This is Zorn to the 5. Zorn ran very, very well against the Raiders last year in one of the favorites.
This was a design play. It's the quarterback draw. Zorn had run all the way. Takes 3 steps on his drop. Got the middle linebackers for Oakland asleep and gets a good 5-yard gain. Another look from the end zone. You can see the linebackers going to pass, and that was the reason Zorn had the hole and got the 5-yard gain.
It is a 3rd and goal at the 5. Zorn is averaging better than 9 yards per carry coming in. Groening and Smith are the setbacks. And now Zorn is satisfied about something, wants to talk it over. And Seahawks are upset because one of the Raiders jumped in. And
Villapiano.
Yes, it was Phillip who did not hold back, although the timeout was indicated.
Villapiano probably didn't see Jim Zorn call the timeout. He thought maybe the center had moved early, went flying in to recover the ball.
But it will be a timeout for Seattle.
Watch Villapiano, 41. He thought Zorn was taking the snap. Oh, Phil, you can't get away with that. John Yarno, the center, trying to protect his quarterback, and that's the way you should do it.
Fans here getting on Villapiano. Fans wanted a penalty call, but waved off. The timeout had been called. Tonight on NBC, a reminder, the Bob Hope On the Road to China show, a 3-hour special featuring Crystal Gale, Shields and Yarnell, and a good friend of Mike Haffner's, Big Bird. It was recorded entirely in the People's Republic of China. That's tonight, 8 o'clock Pacific time on NBC.
And for you disco fans, they do a little disco in China with Peaches and Herb.
We are 3 minutes in, second quarter. And the Seahawks leading the Raiders by the score of 7-0.
We said at the top of the show that the Seahawks would have to get out on offense early to put the Raiders in problems, and they have jumped right out. The offense has been outstanding.
This is Efren Herrera warming up on the sideline. By Zorn to throw. Zorn throws end zone, and it is dropped by Dorning. Dan Dorning on the right side of the end zone was covered by number 41, Phil Villapiano, as you get another look.
Watch the feet of Jim Zorn. Like a ballet dancer, a little Baryshnikov to get out of the way of the rush. I don't know. I think Dornick might have been able to catch that one.
So Herrera comes on. And with Zorn holding, he will try a 23-yarder. Efren Herrera, who is 2 for 3 thus far this season, hitting from 32 and 34, missing from 49. It was a low snap, and it was blocked by the Raiders. And picked up by Henry Williams, who runs it out of bounds. That snap was short hopped by Zorn.
And that caused problems. It's got to be kicked in about 1.3 seconds, and it gave enough time for penetration by the line trying to see who got their hands up to block it. There's the block. And for the Raiders, it was 79 Bruce Davis, the defensive tackle. Watch 79. And because of the poor snap and the timing, Davis gets a hand up and knocks it away.
All right, 11:54 remaining in the second quarter. Seahawks lead it 7-0.
When you're a lifeguard, you practice all you can, because saving a few seconds may save a few lives. But now comes Miller time. Time to head for the best tasting beer you can find. America's quality beer, Miller High Life.
If you've got the time, we've got the beer.
He gets more out of a flashlight because he puts more than regular batteries into it. Alkaline, ever-ready alkaline. Of all leading brands, you can't buy a longer-lasting, all-purpose power cell than D-size ever-ready alkaline for flashlights that get used a lot. So when you want more energy for these flashlights, put more into them. D-size ever-ready alkaline. Call ever-ready alkaline regular? I dare you.
Next Sunday, start your day with NFL 79. Then it's regional coverage of exciting NFL action, including the Patriots-Chargers Flash and the Seahawks-Broncos battle. Check local listings for the game in your area. NBC Sports, we're proud.
Next Sunday here on NBC, a full schedule of football as the NFL season moves on to the 4th week.
You and I will be in Denver next week with these same Seahawks.
Oakland will move on to Kansas City, playing their first 4 away from home as Stabler pops one, and he's got the tight end, Raymond Chester, out at the 31-yard line. Dave Brown, Terry Beeson making the stop.
Excellent call by Kenny Stabler. He caught the Seahawks in man-to-man. And middle linebacker Terry Beeson has got the tight end, Chester, all by himself. And anytime you can get a skilled player on a linebacker, you're going to get a completion, and Stabler found it.
2nd and 3 off the 7-yard advance out of the 31. Seattle leading 7-0. 40-yard pass play with Zorn and Largent combining in the first quarter. The running backs are Whittington and Van Egan. And this is Whittington going wide to the 35. He's got the first down and more across the 40. Dave Brown again putting that shoulder down low to make the stop.
Whittington with his great speed, and Terry Beeson, the middle linebacker who plays the run so well, sees the gap. He's got a shot at Whittington, but the great speed of the former SMU University running back gets him away and gets him a big gain and a first down.
Whittington is averaging just under 5 yards per carry.
When you got that kind of speed, you better get 5 yards every time you touch it, huh, Mark?
Flankers both to the right. Martini and Branch out to the right as Stabler with time throws over the middle, and it is broken up. Branch, though, was pounded, and an interference call being handed out on John Harris, the Seattle free safety.
It's a judgment call on pass interference. Harris was, in fact, going for the ball, but it happened to be that Branch was in the way. Again, the microphone is out on the referee. Let's take another look. And again, if he is touched before the ball gets to him, and oh, that is a tough call. Hard to tell. Those judgments, that's why I don't have a striped shirt on. I wouldn't do that job for anything.
It is a first down at the 47-yard line in Seattle territory.
Seahawks fans didn't like it, but...
All right, Stabler, this time in big trouble, was able to elude the rush and able to complete. The tight end, Raymond Chester, although in heavy traffic, makes the grab short of the first down. Autry Beeman.
Kenny Stabler takes more time than any quarterback in the NFL. He can stand back there and stand back there. And the big consideration is to look downfield first. If you're in trouble, find your tight end. He found 88, hit him right between the 8s, and got close to another first down.
It'll be 2nd and 1 at the Seattle 38. Stabler took a beating last week at the hands of the San Diego Chargers. In fact, Gene Upshaw had been complaining right throughout the week that Stabler had been victimized by late hits constantly. From the Raider point of view, they counted up 18 late hits.
That'll make you sore on Monday morning when you got to get out of bed.
That's another tough call for the official as Van Egan brings it across for the first down. They are trying to protect the quarterback even more so this year, and there's a judgment call by the official that is awfully tough to blow that whistle.
Miami 27, Minnesota 12. Minnesota in deep, deep problems again. Don Strock has 2 touchdown passes, and Norm Big Boo Boulash has scored.
Steelers making it back. It is now 9-7. St. Louis. They missed an extra point following the Otis Anderson touchdown. First down for the Raiders at the Seahawks 32. And Stabler to throw deep down the right side for Branch, and just off to the right. Beautiful pattern run by Branch as he tried to come back. Audrey Beeman with the coverage.
And I think if Kenny Stabler had put it over the right shoulder, he had to make an adjustment in his pattern. Now watch Branch. He has to make the adjustment right at the end. His great speed might have given him the catch if it had been over the right shoulder, but it comes over the top of his head and not quite.
It is now a 2nd and 10 at the 32. Cardinals have defeated the Expos 4-3 in the first of a doubleheader, while the Mets beat the Pirates 3-0. Right now, going in, Pirates a half game in front, so that remains the same. 5 defensive backs for the Seahawks. Stabler throws the middle, looking for Branch, and he overthrows. He was covered by Dave Brown, the right cornerback. So again, Stabler looking for Branch.
Branch had double coverage that time. He got some help from his safety man. And again, there's Autry Beeman. He's got, or Kerry Justin, the 5th back, has him short. Brown has him deep. No chance for Branch to get open.
It is now a 3rd and 10 at the Seattle 32. Final score, Miami Dolphins over the Minnesota Vikings, 27-12.
Fran Tarkenton leaves and the Minnesota Vikings disappear.
Vikings had a terrible preseason, and it has carried right on to the regular season. Here's Stabler. And he throws deep again and overthrows Raymond Chester.
A lot of pressure on Stabler that time. The blitz was on. They knew it was pass. And there's a flag down. The flag went early, so somebody jumped. But Stabler, look at the pressure. 6 Seahawks bearing down on him, and Kenny had to get rid of it before he wanted to. And no chance to hit Chester.
Holding call on the Oakland Raiders.
And that's what pressure will do, and they declined the penalty, and they're going to force Oakland to punt.
There is head coach Tom Flores, who took over for John Madden. And it's been a difficult start for Flores, particularly with those 4 games on the road right at the start. Jim Breach has come on to try a 50-yard field goal.
There's a surprise.
The kick is, it hit the goal post and hit the crossbar. A low line drive, and it went the Seahawks' way.
Just inches away from a 50-yard field goal, and Breach, he thought he had it. Take a look now. He's got the distance, or he thinks he does. Tremendous accuracy. It was right in between the goalposts. Now watch the ball. And it hung there for a minute, Marv. I thought maybe it was going to bounce over. Up in the air, could have gone either way, and not enough.
So Breach has missed from 33, and real tough luck on that one from 50 yards out.
Carpooling it up?
Makes good sense.
Kentucky Fried Chicken for dinner?
Makes even better sense.
Why's that?
Because I know the Colonel serves a good meal. A real meal. A fresh quality chicken. And what's more, they love it.
Kentucky Fried Chicken! Kentucky Fried!
Boy, do they love it.
It's so nice, nice to feel. So good about a meal. So good about Kentucky Fried Chicken.
David Anthony just got a Ram Tough Dodge van and a $400 check from Chrysler Corporation.
I got a really good deal. When I bought the van, I didn't know about the rebate. So when I picked it up on Monday, I got another $400 off.
Now's the time to deal. Chrysler Corporation's giving dealers big cash incentives they can pass on to you. And only Chrysler Corporation tops your deal with a $400 check. Not Ford, not GM. Come to Dodge and check it out.
Opening Thursday, the greatest movie since Star Wars, Buck Rogers in the 25th century. Then, teenagers die of old age on Quincy. Thursday on NBC.
Mike, you know how difficult it is under normal conditions for place kickers who very often are of the neurotic personality, but you hit the goalpost from 50 yards out, you go out of your mind.
Yep, he should have had it, he thought.
That's what Jim Freak just did as the Seahawks now take over, and Zorn off the play action has Largent down to the 40, 35, and popped out of bounds. Lester Hayes and Jack Tatum covering on the play. A long gainer off the pinpoint pass from Zorn.
Don't give Jim Zorn time. He looks across the defense. Again, the same kind of pattern that Branch run in front of the deep backs and the back of the linebackers. Largent is excellent at finding the hole in the zone. And I'll tell you, those two can hook up. Good pass protection and a great route.
A 35-yard pass play. Zorn and Largent combining. Last year, of course, Largent led the AFC with 71 receptions, 1,168 yards, 8 touchdowns, and has been unleashed here this afternoon. Now, Rabel goes out to the left, McCollum right.
Those are my career statistics. He got them in one season.
All right, here's Sherman Smith. Your what, Mike?
Career statistics. He got those in 1 year.
You went over the 1,000-yard mark for your career, including high school also?
That's right. Oh. High school, college, and pro. I got 1,000 yards and 71 catches.
2nd and 6 at the 29-yard line. The Seahawks on the move. It is a 7-0 Seattle lead. Now Rabel goes to the left, and McCollum right. The running backs are Smith and Dorning. This is Smith. Smith able to break one tackle, but picks up just a yard on the play as Rod Martin, number 53, makes the stop. I'm Marv Albert. This is Mike Haffner, who did go over the 1,000-yard mark, including grade school. And we are here at the Kingdome at Seattle, Washington. Seahawks on top by the score of 7-0. Right back down to the field.
Nice to be inside. Can't rain on us in here, nor the field.
3rd and 5. 3rd down and 5. Now it is McCollum to the left and Rabel right. And Zorn again with much time going for the tight end. Rather a Duke Ferguson. Fans here felt there should have been an interference call off the post pattern run by Ferguson.
Ferguson was trying to get deep. Zorn looking for him, and Mike Davis of the Raiders. And watch right at the end of the pattern. 36 Davis. A little bit of elbow there, but both players going for the ball. Again, a judgment call. Those are kind of chippy. You don't call that one.
Field goal attempt by Herrera. A 46-yard attempt with Zorn holding. It's good. Herrera with a 46-yard field goal. And the Seahawks of Seattle now lead the Raiders of Oakland by the score of 10-0 with 6:50 left in this first half.
Care of your car at Kmart.
Your Kmart Automotive Center has the answer to your muffler problem. The zinc-coated, double-wrapped Kmart Arrestor muffler. Have it installed by Kmart, and if anything goes wrong, they'll replace it free as long as you own your American-made car. The Arrestor. Zinc-coated and double-wrapped like the best. And best of all, Kmart price. Get it at Kmart Automotive Centers across the USA, where quality auto products are Kmart priced.
Tom,
What's new?
It's my birthday.
Really? Let me buy you a beer. Michelob Light?
Michelob makes a light? Well, it is my birthday.
The good taste of Michelob Light. Don't just compare it to other light beers. Compare it to your regular beer. It's that good.
Great present.
Least we could do.
We?
Surprise!
How'd you know?
You told us last week.
And the week before that.
Good taste runs in the family.
On NBC's Sports World, America's top divers, including Olympians Cynthia Potter and Phil Boggs, are scheduled to compete against an international field in World Cup diving next Saturday. NBC Sports, we're proud.
And keep in mind Sports World now on Saturdays here on NBC. Efren Herrera will kick off. He just made it 3 out of 5 on the season a moment ago with a 46-yard field goal. Had his earlier attempt blocked. Whittington is now back there along with Matthews, and this is Whittington on his first kickoff return of the season. Out to the 19-yard line. First time he has returned it. Kick formation as Sammy Green was able to make the stop on Art Whittington, and the Oakland Raiders go 1st and 10 from the 19.
And again, the special teams, anytime they keep them inside the 20-yard line on a kickoff, and watch Sammy Green, 56. He's going to get the hit. Nice move to get inside the wedge, and he gets the speed back from behind. Excellent job by Green.
Oakland Raiders to the line at the tackle. Sylvester and Lawrence, Upshaw and Medlin at the guards. The center is Galby. The tight end is Chester. And here is Stabler on the good for Whittington. A loss on the play. That was diagnosed perfectly by the Seahawks. 77, Bill Gregory, the right defensive end, combining with Robert Harty, number 75, the defensive tackle.
With 6:25 to go before halftime, everyone expected Kenny Stabler to throw the football on first down, but the Seahawks reacted well to the delayed draw, they call that, or the sprint draw. Didn't work. Now he's got to throw.
2nd and 11. And Stabler will throw. With time, he dumps it off. Whittington to the 30. He's got the first down and much more out at midfield, and then thrown out of bounds. A long gainer utilizing the speed of Art Whittington. Dave Brown was able to get him out.
Again, the Seahawk defense playing a deep, deep zone. Stabler has no deep receivers wide open because of the defensive setup. And so he picks Whittington underneath the coverage and the great speed of the former Mustang from SMU. And he runs like one. Take a look now at the secondary, fans at home, and you'll see why the underneath pattern is the one that works. Plenty of depth by the Seahawk defensive backs, and that opens up underneath.
37-yard pickup, first down at the Seattle 43. And Stabler, again, sidearms Raymond Chester with the reception, but stopped by Michael Jackson, who was right there. Jackson, the right side linebacker, the rookie out of the University of Washington.
Look at Stabler. He got nailed after that throw, picked himself up off the artificial turf. He's going to be sore again tomorrow morning.
St. Louis Cardinals have got in front of Pittsburgh now 15-7. They led 9-0, then 9-7, and now 15-7.
One of my UCLA alumnus, Theodis Brown, a 1-yard run.
2nd and 3 for the Raiders. 5 minutes left, first half. Seattle up by the score of 10-0. Whistles on the play as Van Egan carries it through. And let's see what the call is here. Referee Gordon McConnor talking it over with both clubs.
That last reception by Raymond Chester put him over the 4,000-yard mark in his career. That's a lot of yardage for a tight end.
Last week, Chester caught 7 for 91 yards. 10-year pro out of Morgan State.
It's the Kingdom Summit here with all the refereeing crew.
There it is, following that lengthy discussion. I don't have a microphone, he says, and we can hear him. Why is that?
Upstairs? All right.
Can you get this upstairs?
The formation was perfectly legal. There It's not a foul for illegal formation. Let's pick that up.
Gordon McCarter going over to our sideline mic, obviously aware that his microphone is not working. And apparently at first it was thought to be an illegal formation. And then they discussed it and they said, no, it was just fine. There's a final. The Houston Oilers over the Wing T Kansas City Chiefs 20-6.
And a bit of a surprise because Dan Pastorini did not play in that game for Houston. It was Gifford Nielsen, the former BYU quarterback. Houston stays alive in that tough AFC Central.
They are doing the play over. 2nd and 3 at the 36.
Strange call, Marv.
It is a do-over. All right, here is Robisky. Battling toward that first down marker, but falls short. Sammy Green, Terry Beeson, 2 linebackers able to stack him up. Terry Robisky, a 3-year pro of LSU, came on for Art Whittington. Head coach Tom Flores of the Oakland Raiders. His club is trailing by the score of 10-0.
And Robisky didn't play all last year. He had a knee injury. He's coming back this year.
Trubisky is the all-time leading rusher at LSU. In fact, he broke the records of a one-time Raider by the name of Billy Cannon.
That's going back a while.
It is a 3rd and 1. Double tight end for Oakland. And the first down is picked up now by Trubisky. Dave Brown, the right cornerback, covering up. It is a 1st and 10 for Oakland. Outside the 30.
Raiders got a heck of a break on that penalty play that they got to play over again. That's the first time I've seen that in a couple of years, where they threw an incorrect flag and let them play the down again.
Just under 4 left in this first half. Price, Hardy, Trias, Sopo, Gregory up front, Green out, Cronin in the middle, and Jackson are the linebackers. And a beautiful move to get Van Egan. We're trying to go to his left. Bill Gregory, number 77. Prompting the loss on that play.
Couldn't block Bill Gregory, and he plays the run very, very well.
2nd and 11. Out at the 31-yard line. Seahawks continue to shuffle defensively.
Kenny Stabler has been very effective going to Cliff Branch, and he's forgotten about him in this series. Could be coming back to him right now.
Van Egan and Robisky are the running backs. Van Egan thus far only 25 yards, 6 carries. Stabler to throw. And he throws a post pattern and it's picked off. It is intercepted by Dave Brown. He's to the 20. Looking for blockers, and then he slipped. Down at the 25-yard line. Dave Brown, 5-year veteran out of Michigan, with his first interception on the season.
And Dave Brown and the rest of the Seahawk defense must have been listening to me, because Stabler tried to go to Branch. He hadn't gone to him in a while, and Brown was right there to pick it off. Not a very good throw by Ken Stabler. Double coverage on Branch, and Brown stepped in front and picked it off.
2 minutes, 52 seconds remaining. First half, and the Seahawks with a 10-0 lead.
Ram power. Dodge gives you Ram power.
Now Dodge pickups go beyond tough. They're Ram tough. The biggest maximum payloads. More than Ford or Chevy. The most brute power with its most fuel-efficient V8. And with optional 3-speed automatic. The best mileage ratings, too. More than Ford or Chevy. Now,
Dodge trucks are Ram tough.
Now try and forget. One of America's largest life insurance companies, Lincoln National Life. We're easy to remember.
Well, our director, Ken Fouts, and producer, Michael Weissman, capturing it all from the top of the dome here in Seattle, Washington. All the scores, all the highlights coming up at halftime on NFL 79 with Brian Gumble, Mike Adamley. Off the the intercept by Brown. Stabler's third intercept of the season. Seahawks take over at their 25-yard line. Just under 3 left. In this first half, Seattle leading Oakland 10-0. And Zorn, Largent again! Largent across the 45 in Oakland territory. Brought down by Charles Phillips, the strong safety.
And I love it. Seattle not sitting on that 10-point lead. They know it's not enough. Jim Zorn comes in after the turnover on first down. He's going to his #1 receiver. Largent and Zorn have hooked up a number of times.
31-yard pickup. And Mike, you notice no dropsies today because Zorn has been hit hard by drop passes. He's been intercepted 6 times coming in. The Seahawks have played near perfect football offensively.
I think the receivers and offensive backs felt bad about dropping those Zorn passes, and they're making up for it today.
Largent has now accounted for 101 yards on 3 receptions as we approach the 2-minute mark. Now the 2-minute warning is provided. We'll be back here in Seattle right after we pause for these messages.
You know, it does my heart good to see a woman of your depth and reception going natural in public.
It does my heart good to see they even let you out in public.
That's nice of you to say, but tell me, why do you like natural?
Oh, this light beer and I have a lot in common. You know, classy package, terrific taste.
Yeah, natural aging. I mean, natural has the smooth, clean taste that comes from slow, natural aging.
Keep trying.
Really, I have extinct affliction for all women of your gender. I raise you to the highest pinnacle.
To make way for the 80s, your Dodge dealer has to sell a lot of cars, trucks, and vans. And that's why Chrysler Corporation gave dealers the biggest cash incentives in Chrysler's history. Big discounts they can pass on to you. Come and see the low prices marked right on those cars, trucks, and vans. You'll get what may be the best deal you ever made. And only Chrysler Corporation tops your deal with a $400 check. Not Ford, not GM. Come to Dodge and check it out.
In this room, there are usually 9 or 10 infants, playing, laughing, learning what it feels like to be loved. We can't show you their faces because they are victims of child abuse and neglect.
I'm Archery Beeman of the Seattle Seahawks, and this is the Seattle Day Nursery, an agency supported by United Way.
Here, they give love back to little children whose parents have agreed to seek help. In many cases, they were often abused or neglected themselves as children. No one knows how many abused children there are, but here in Seattle, there's a small ray of hope, thanks to a lot of volunteers who want to share the meaning of love.
Thanks to them, thanks to you. It works for all of us, the United Way.
The preceding announcement furnished as a public service by the National Football League. Seattle first down at the 44 off the pass combination of Zorn and Largent. Now the give for Smith. Quick opener. Down to the 38-yard line. Dave Pear, Phil Villapiano combining to make the stop. Steve Largent now has caught a pass in 24 straight games. Our statistician Jack Prote passing on the word. He's caught passes for 100 yards or more 9 times. Thus far today, 3 receptions, 106 yards.
His all-time high is 134 yards, and he's got a shot at that today.
It'll be a 2nd and 4 with a minute and a half remaining in this first half. At halftime, all the scores, complete rundown of the highlights from NFL 79. That is coming up. Quarterback is Zorn. The setbacks are Smith and Dorning. Dorning has done well in replacing the injured David Sims, who's out with that bruised neck. Long count by Zorn, and we get whistled. Penalty marker down.
Too much time.
Excessively long count by Zorn.
He was changing the play.
Steve Largent arguing, and that's Coach Jack Patera.
I'll tell you why he's arguing, Marv. The 30-second clock was never started. Jim Zorn didn't know how much time he had, So he went ahead and changed the play. An audible at the line of scrimmage without the 30-second clock as a reference. Zorn didn't know how much time was left, and that's what Patera's complaining about. He'll get in trouble standing out there on that field. It's like a baseball argument. Oh, he's going to get right up in his face and shake his finger. They do a Billy Martin and kick the dirt. There isn't any dirt.
Yes, he would hurt himself trying to kick on this field.
Tear a knee ligament. I don't know, but if he doesn't get off the field real quick, Marv, he's going to get a penalty flag.
It would be an unsportsmanlike conduct.
It says in the NFL rule book that the head coach is not supposed to be on the playing field at any time. And he's gotten one before this year, I know. He's a big man, too. He's looking down at all that refereeing crew.
And he has been hit with a penalty. The hand is for Jack Patera as he slowly makes his way to the sideline. He's receiving a standing ovation.
Oh, they love him. But it cost his club 15 yards, plus the 5 yards for the delay of game. So it's a 20-yard penalty altogether. There's the signal. First of all, the delay of game, and then the arms extended. That's a unsportsmanlike conduct against the head coach. Comes out to a 20-yard penalty against the Seahawks.
Jack Patera, a very popular guy in this area, as you would expect. He was the AFC Coach of the Year last season after the Seahawks' first winning season of 9-7. And only their third year of football. As we watch Patera, the upper portion of your screen, 2nd and 24, back at the Seattle 42-yard line. And Zorn goes the middle to Rabel. Rabel out of midfield was actually hit by his own man to push him forward. The right guard, Ron Coder, moving downfield to help out, pushed him forward. And they put it down at the 50, the hurry-up offense used by Seattle. With 1 minute remaining in this first half, Zorn will throw again. Try to dump it off short, incomplete, intended for Dorning, but that will stop the clock.
And again, I think Jim Zorn just threw it into the AstroTurf to stop the clock, although it is 4th down. He didn't want to turn the ball over by throwing an interception. Good coverage by the Raiders.
Herman Weaver has come on as Ira Matthews, 5'8" rookie out of Wisconsin, a 6th-round draft pick, number 43, drops back. Weaver to punt from his 36-yard line. It is a 10-man rush for Oakland. And Weaver able to get it away. This is Matthews. And out he goes, just able to cover up at the 11-yard line. A 40-yard punt by Weaver.
Tremendous hang time again. Gave the special teams time to get down to cover that punt. There's a flag on the play.
Penalty marker down. Looks to be a clip with 48 seconds remaining in this first half, and Seattle leading it by the score of 10-0. First quarter touchdown, a 40-yard pass combination between Zorn and Logic. And the 46-yard field goal by Herrera here in the second quarter. So the clip is called.
And again, the Raiders with 48 seconds to go. They had the ball at the 10. Now it'll go back to the 5, and that's no place to start if you want to get on the board before halftime. Again, another look. He has control, and there's the clip. No doubt about it. Mike Davis right on the back of Cornell Webster.
And it'll be a first down from the 6-yard line.
38 Webster clip. And Mike Davis did the clipping of Oakland.
This is Whittington finding a hole out across the 10, gets to the 12, 13-yard line, and some footwear has been misplaced.
The shoe goes bouncing out. I thought it was the football for a minute.
Tuiasosopo making the stop. You see 32 seconds remaining, and a timeout has been called with the Seattle Seahawks in front, 10-0.
This is the Sony Betamax, and this is the competition. There's one major difference: the Beta tape loading system. It enables us to offer features like Beta Scan. It's like fast forward and reverse, but you can see what you're looking for and stop when you find it. The fact that the other tape loading system doesn't have Beta Scan doesn't mean it's a bad system. In fact, it's a very good one. And we should know, because before we invented our system, the Beta system, we invented theirs.
This baby's been from Maine to Malibu, but I don't let her go nowhere without the treatment.
This is no car, this is a legend. And you better believe I give her the treatment.
STP oil treatment. Since 1964, over 500 million cans have been sold. No other brand even comes close. So do what millions do. Give your car the treatment from STP.
This sweetheart gets a treat, and this sweetheart gets the treatment.
Back here in Seattle, we have just received word that Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback Terry Bradshaw injured his ankle, was carried off the field by a stretcher. And we'll have more details and highlights and scores at halftime on NFL 79. The Steelers trailing St. Louis 15-7. Back here at the Kingdome. Fumble on the play as Terry Robisky was able to unleash. And it is recovered by Oakland, the Raiders. Call for time as Henry Lawrence, the right tackle, number 70, made the recovery. So Terry Robisky bringing out to the 31-yard line, but we have only 21 seconds left in this first half. Timeout called by the Oakland Raiders.
Not only did Terry Bradshaw go down today, and again, you'll see the highlights at halftime, NFL 79, but Bob Greasy went down with a pulled muscle, and Kenny Anderson, the quarterback at Cincinnati, got a kidney problem, and he was taken to the hospital. Not a good day for quarterbacks in the NFL.
The throwing Samoan rookie Jack Thompson coming on, replacing Anderson in that Bengal lineup today.
Jack Thompson is well known in this state. Did some super throwing up at Washington State.
16-yard run by Robisky, making for the first down at the 29-yard line. Oakland down to 1 timeout left. Seattle with 2 remaining. Only 21 seconds left. And Stabler to throw out of the pocket. And he completes to Branch, who is hit down immediately at the 47-yard line. Cornell Webster, the left cornerback, making the stop, the clock running, and now the Raiders use their final timeout, stopping the clock with 9 seconds left.
And again, in this situation, the Seattle Seahawks are playing bend but don't break. Don't let anybody get deep on you, especially this guy Branch with his 10 flat speed and 100 meters. They will give up that short pattern. They're out of field goal range and only 9 seconds to go. They just didn't want Branch to get deep.
Branch and Stabler able to hook up successfully here this afternoon. There's Tom Flores talking it over with Ken Stabler, and you see the other 2 Oakland quarterbacks, David Hump, number 11, and Jim Plunkett, who saw action last week against San Diego.
Branch, 3 catches, 77 yards, and they have been the most effective combination for the Raiders.
People in Oakland are well aware last season, with Stabler suffering from injuries, had all kinds of trouble throwing long, and it took Cliff Branch out of his usual type of tackle.
You can't get Branch deep. He is not an effective receiver. You've got to, even if you don't complete the pass, he's going to get deep and have the cornerback thinking about how fast the young man is. Then he gets open underneath the coverage.
The stats on Stabler: 8 for 14, 141 yards. First down at the 48. And here's Stabler with the clock running down. He throws sideline, broken up, intended for Branch, knocked away by Cornell Webster, number 38, 3-year pro out of Tulsa, who has played very well here at the early going.
Cornell Webster is the most outstanding defensive back in Seattle's 4 deep situation. And again, he's got a tough job covering the speed man in Branch, but watch the great athletic move. He's got his eye on the ball all the way. Great play. I'll tell you, I wouldn't play cornerback in the NFL for anything. If you get burned, everybody knows it.
Webster had a big game against Oakland last year in that 27-7 win, had 14 tackles against the Raiders. All right, final seconds. Stabler with the deep drop, and it is dropped by Van Eeghen.
It's in the fourth quarter, and that was plenty to turn back the Minnesota Vikings. That final 27-12. Don Strock had to come in relief of Bob Greasy, who injured his leg. Strock threw 2 touchdown passes of 6 yards, one to Larry Zonko, one to Jimmy Cefalo. Norm Bulash added a 5-yard run as the Dolphins put that one away to go up 3-0. Speaking of 3-0, Tampa Bay Buccaneers no longer a joke, in fact a contender in the NFC Central. They beat Green Bay 21-10. Jerry Eckwood, fine young rookie there, he had a 40-yard run for a touchdown. Tampa Bay very respectable indeed. Kansas City against Houston. It's rebound week in Houston. Houston lost badly last week to the Steelers, had Dante Pastorini knocked out, but they rode the feet of Earl Campbell a victory. Earl had 32 carries, 131 yards. Mike, it's nice to have somebody like that in the bank working for you.
You bet, and it's not bad to have a guy like Gifford Nielsen, the second-year quarterback out of Brigham Young, in reserve. He's the man who took Pastorini's place. He did well before a capacity house at the Astrodome in Houston. The Oilers whooped up on the Kansas City Chiefs. Here's the Oilers' first score, this 4-yard run by Earl Campbell. In the second quarter, watch this action. Cliff Parkley back to punt, and he really booms one right into the hands of number 86, J.T. Smith, second-year man out of North Texas State. Watch him go. 55 yards in all for a touchdown. The first punt that has been returned for a touchdown in the NFL this year. Houston, too much for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay, my word around the league is the Oakland Raiders, when they're on AstroTurf, are in trouble. Well, they're in trouble in Seattle today. It's 10-0 at the half. Zorn Largent 40 yards. Dallas beating Chicago right now. This ball game at the half. Cowboys out in front 10-7. In the matchup, Peyton's 13 carries, 77 yards. Dorsett 11 carries for 59 yards. Pittsburgh against St. Louis. St. Louis winning right now 15-7 this ball game in the second quarter. And as we mentioned, Terry Bradshaw was hurt in this ball game. He has had to leave and been replaced by Mike Kruzak. It was a 3rd and 19 situation. Bradshaw back to pass, tried to dump it off, and was left clutching his left ankle. He was removed from the field on a stretcher. We do not have any word as to the extent of his injury, but certainly that picture right there is not a bright one for the hopes of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they're losing today 15-7. San Francisco out in front of Los Angeles. That score 10-0 in the second period. Wilbur Jackson's touchdown, the lone one in that game. We understand now it is 10-7 in that one. The 49ers still on top. And Buffalo, San Diego, this one in the third period. The Chargers are out in front 13-12. Mike Adamle, the Chargers are indeed a powerhouse, but the Bills staying close.
Well, the Bills won big last week, 51-24 over Cincinnati, so you know they have offense. San Diego has to win this game because they have lost these kind of games. Before another packed house at San Diego Stadium. A man who did most of the damage for San Diego was on the ground, number 40, Clarence Williams. You know, they have 2 running backs by the name of Lydell Mitchell and Mike Thomas, but they're not starting because this man is just too good. Clarence Williams, his first touchdown, and then from the 21-yard line, watch him change direction here, bounce outside, pick up a blocker, lose his helmet in the process. He has been extremely tough for the Chargers, 13-12. A lot of people are going to keep an eye on that game because the Bills aren't too bad either. Chuck Knox has really got them rolling.
Okay, Mike, very quickly, let's switch to baseball. Bad day for all the contenders. The Pirates lost to the Mets. The Expos lost to the Cardinals. Pirates continue to lead by a half game in the National East. And in the American West, the Angels lost to the Brewers 2-1, and the Kansas City Royals lost to Seattle. That score 6-3. Now let's go back to the Seattle Kingdome. We join Marv Albert and Mike HAFFNER.
This 1979 National Football League game is brought to you by Chrysler Corporation. See the mileage makers at your Dodge or Chrysler Plymouth dealers. By the Schlitz Malt Liquor Bull, the special premium brew that's in a class by itself. By Ryder Truck Rental, the best truck money can rent. And by AC Delco, quality automotive parts for quality motoring. Go with the names you know, AC Delco.
We are back at the Kingdome in Seattle, Washington. At halftime, the Seattle Seahawks leading the Oakland Raiders by the score of 10-0. And Mike, from the Seattle point of view, has to be only happiness. It has been, as we mentioned before, near perfect first half. And in the turnover department particularly, that is where the happiness has to be.
That's right. No drop passes, and that had plagued Jim Zorn all the way through the start of this season, especially in the first 2 games. and he has done well. The Seahawks have jumped out on offense early, and that is the key to their success. They've got to get ahead early.
And Zorn and Largent also have hooked up, and they had been having their problems in the earlier contest. We mentioned earlier that Largent, of course, has suffered from an ankle problem. He's been receiving double coverage, and there have been a host of drop passes, but today they've been perfect.
And on the one touchdown pass to Steve Largent, they beat the defensive zone. Charles Phillips did not get back into the deep third. And you'll watch, Zorn reads the zone well. He gets plenty of time, and if you give Jimmy Zorn time, he's going to nail you. And now watch, Phillips doesn't get to the deep third. Largent is behind the zone, and it's an easy touchdown. He can walk in the last 10 yards.
It is a 40-yard pass play between Zorn and Largent, and we have Zorn now at 7 for 13, 162 yards. And he did not start by filling the air up with footballs. They started in very conservative fashion, which, as it turned out, was the right move, because Zorn last week had to be arm weary after throwing in desperation 45 times.
When you play catch-up football, you will tend to throw much more than designed. And I talked to Jerry Rome, the offensive coordinator, prior to the game for Seattle, and he said that they would establish the ground game and give a rest to that left arm of Jim Zorn.
Art Stabler thus far is 8 for 16, 141 yards, and 1 interception. That interception by Dave Brown of the Seattle Seahawks.
And again, Kenny Stabler, first of all, thinks, will my protection hold up? And he's getting a little bit of pressure there, but again, not what a 10-year veteran would normally do. Throw into double coverage. Branch covered both deep and short. Dave Brown, the short man, picks it off, and Seattle capitalized on this turnover. They got down and got that 46-yard field goal.
All right, National Football League action will continue from Seattle. The second half kickoff coming up with the score, Seattle 10 and Oakland nothing.
Hi, champ. You sure did it tonight.
Yeah, and we gonna celebrate. Here, he's the champ, you chump. We want something special. Bull. Bull? The Schlitz Malt Liquor Bull. It's a special premium brew that's in a class by itself.
This Schlitz Malt Liquor's a bold brew. Let's go a few rounds with the bull.
If you want to change your taste, get a big bull taste. Don't say beer, say bull. The Schlitz Malt Liquor Bull.
Ram power. Dodge gives you Ram power.
Now Dodge fans go beyond tough. They're Ram tough. Galvanized steel for critical area rust protection. More than Ford or Chevy. And with optional 3-speed automatic, the best V8 mileage ratings. More than Ford or Chevy. Dodge fans. Engineered by Chrysler to go beyond tough.
Dodge trucks are Ram tough.
Do you know me? I was the first to climb the highest mountain in the world. But down here, people don't always recognize me. So I got an American Express card, because people do recognize this as a sign of success and accomplishment around the world. Sure, it's tougher to get, but that doesn't mean you have to climb Mount Everest to get one.
To apply for a card, look for this display wherever the card is welcomed.
The American Express card. Don't leave home without it.
And we welcome you back to the Kingdome in Seattle, Washington, where the Seahawks lead the Oakland Raiders by the score of 10-0. As we get set for the start of play in the third quarter, Jim Zorn getting ready. Zorn throwing the 40-yard touchdown pass to Steve Largent. The other score, 46-yard field goal by Efren Herrera. Herrera was a doubtful before the start of the ball game because of a leg problem, and this man, number 10, was all set. He worked out yesterday, Mike. Why not? I mean, he does everything else. He was ready.
I would have loved to see him kick extra points and field goals. That'd have been a classic.
And here are the Oakland Raiders moving back on. Ken Stabler, who has not received bad protection when you consider that his offensive line has been hard hit by injury. At the left tackle spot, Steve Sylvester, normally a backup center, replacing Art Shell. Gene Upshaw at left guard, Dave Dolby at center, but Dan Medlin getting the starting shot at right guard, Henry Lawrence at right tackle.
Kenny Stabler needs protection. He needs the time to read the defenses. And he's gotten it today, and I'm surprised with that patched up offensive line.
we welcome you back to the Kingdome in Seattle, Washington, where the Seahawks lead the Oakland Raiders by the score of 10-0. As we get set for the start of play of the third quarter, Jim Zorn getting ready. Zorn throwing the 40-yard touchdown pass to Steve Largent. The other score, 46-yard field goal by Efren Herrera. Herrera was a doubtful before the start of the ball game because of a leg problem, and this man, number 10, was all set. He worked out yesterday, Mike. Why not? I mean, he does everything else. He was ready.
I would have loved to see him kick extra points and field goals. That'd have been a classic.
And here are the Oakland Raiders moving back on. Ken Stabler, who has not received bad protection when you consider that his offensive line has been hard hit by injury. At the left tackle spot, Steve Sylvester, normally a backup center, replacing Art Shell. Gene Upshaw at left guard, Dave Dolby at center, but Dan Medlin getting the starting shot at right guard, Henry Lawrence at right tackle.
Kenny Stabler needs protection. He needs the time to read the defenses. He's gotten it today, and I'm surprised with that patched up offensive line. Halftime statistics, 227 yards passing for Seattle. Jim Zorn having an outstanding day. Steve Largent over the 100-yard mark. And, of course, for Oakland, 188 yards. And Cliff Branch has 3 catches for 77. So those two have been the key, along with the quarterbacks, the 2 wide receivers.
Now, there has never been a question the last couple of years about the offensive abilities of the Seattle Seahawks. But I think you'd have to go back a bit to find a Seahawk club that has held a real quality ball club to 0 on the scoreboard going to the third quarter.
That has been the problem, and when you build in the National Football League, it tends to be offense that comes first, defense secondly. Now in Jack Patera's 4th year, his defense is starting to come around. There's still some problems at the linebacker spot, especially in pass coverage, and we'll watch and see if Kenny Stabler takes advantage of that in the second half.
Seattle continues to provide problems for the Oakland Raiders. Last year, Seattle became the first team to sweep a series against Oakland since back in 1965 by winning 27-7 here at the Kingdome, and then 17-16 at Oakland in that 27-7 when Stabler was sacked 3 times. And as you look at the standings, you see why today is such a pivotal ball game. San Diego on top, Oakland at 1-1, Denver with the victory today at 2-1, Kansas City 1 up 2 down, and Seattle looking for its first victory of 79.
And I'm sure they looked at those standings as they went in at halftime. They have a 10-point lead, and this is a must game for the Seahawks. And of course, the Raiders don't go 1-2 either.
Backup quarterback Jim Plunkett, who did see action last week against San Diego, went 3 for 7.
An old friend of mine, I was at New England, one of my number of stops in the NFL when he was a rookie in 1971.
You were of the school, don't send out the laundry.
I never rented an apartment. I just slept in my back seat of my car.
Efren Herrera getting set to kick off. Derek Ramsey and Ira Matthews are the deep men. Oakland continues to shuffle for kickoff return. And we're underway, second half. This is Matthews dropping but recovering to the 20 with a burst of speed across the 30 and pulled down. First ball down. Around the 35 by Terry Justin, the backup cornerback.
I played on artificial surface before. First of all, he gets a lucky bounce. That thing could have gone back into the end zone. And now when he hits the surface here, this got to hurt. Justin wasn't going to let him get away. That ground is awfully hard.
Oakland, first down at the 36-yard line. Branch to the left. Martini replacing the injured Morris Bradshaw. To the right, Rubisky and Van Egan. The setbacks, but Stabler to throw on first down, and he completes to Rubisky. Rubisky able to make a move, but then is hit down. Dave Brown on the recovery, making the stop. Terry Rubisky looked impressive in the first half. Ran 22 yards on 3 carries. And that had his first reception of the day. 8-yard pickup, 2nd and 2 out at the 43.
And I asked the question if Kenny Stabler would take advantage of the deficiencies of the linebackers covering pass for Seattle, and right off the bat he hits his back out of the backfield one-on-one with a linebacker.
Green, Beeson, and Jackson are the linebackers for Seattle. The deep men are Webster, Brown, Beeman, and Harris. There's Stabler off the play action, fires and completes to Martini for a first down, plus additional yardage in Seattle territory. Cornell Webster, the quarterback on the left side, combining with linebacker Michael Jackson to make the stop on Martini.
And again, Kenny Stabler going after the linebackers. Martini running the underneath route. Stabler waits until he gets into the hole where Terry Beeson should be. Wide open for Martini. There's Beeson now. He remembers he's supposed to be back in the middle. And it's an easy completion, and Stabler taking advantage early.
Van Egan and Robisky, the running backs. Van Egan straight ahead to the 38-yard line. Beeson and Green combined to make the stop, filling out the rest of that Seahawk defensive unit. Up front of the 4-3, Price, Hardy, Tuiasosopo, and Gregory.
Mark, people ask me all the time, why do they run the fullback into the middle for a 1-yard gain on first down when they've been throwing? But you have to do it, or that front four will just gear up and pass rush every down. You've got to run at them to keep them honest.
2nd and 6 now for Stabler. Opening minutes, 3rd quarter. Seattle 10, Oakland nothing. Stabler throws right and completes to Chester. Right at the first down marker. Audrey Beeman, strong safety, making the stop. Chester making contact just to be sure with that first down marker.
Let's take a look at an outstanding matchup. A first-round draft choice at defensive tackle, Tuiasosopo out of UCLA, against a perennial All-Pro, Mr. Upshaw, and pass block with anybody in the country. And he just took a first-round draft choice and taught him how you don't get to the quarterback.
One of the preseason games the Seahawks played, the public address announcer away from Seattle, of course, on the road, worked so hard all week on the pronunciation of Tuiasosopo that mispronounced Norman. And here's Stabler with time, completes to Branch, and it is another Oakland first down. Brown and Beeson combined to stop Cliff Branch.
And again, we talked right at the top of the game about the protection for Kenny Stabler. Would he get the time to throw? And again, here's Upshaw on the #1 pick, Tuiasosopo. And that's why Kenny Stabler completes passes. Nobody around him. Good job by Upshaw. He's been doing it for years.
They're calling for the yardsticks. See, we called it a first down.
Short by a foot.
Yeah, just short. So it'll be a 2nd and about a foot at the 23-yard line.
This is what Kenny Stabler and Tom Flores, the head coach, wanted. A penetrating drive as soon as they touched the ball in the second half, trailing by 10.
Running backs, Mark Van Egan, 6-year pro out of Colgate. Number 30, 35 is Terry Robisky, 3-year man out of LSU. And Van Egan slashes through for the first down.
Oakland Raider offense. Play that fullback. Van Egan has had 1,000-yard years. Stabler throwing in the right situations.
Combination of Gregory and Jackson on the stop. Oakland first down at the 19.
Another UCLA football player, Dave Dolby, number 50, and he made the block on Beeson, who plays the run well. And that gave Van Egan the chance for the first down.
Dave Dolby, the man who took over for 00 Jim Otto back in 1975. Stabler on first down, off the swing move, fires the middle, and let's see, was it picked? No, it was caught. Raymond Chester out wrestling Beeson and Jackson.
They pay tight ends to be tough, especially in the passing game. And Raymond Chester has Seahawks all over him. Kenny Stabler can't find the deep man, so he goes to the short man. Look at that powerful tight end. He just took the ball away. Michael Jackson, the rookie outside linebacker, got a lesson in tight end coverage.
7-yard pickup, 2nd and 3. Raiders on on the move down at the Seattle 12-yard line. They are trailing 10-0. And Stabler throws for the end zone. Touchdown! Rich Martini with the leaping catch to beat Cornell Webster. And a very smart-looking drive by Ken Stabler.
Congratulations for Kenny Stabler as he comes off the field. An expert drive by a veteran NFL quarterback. And I like Rich Martini. 2 years he was injured. Never played it down for the Raiders. And now with Morris Bradshaw with a pulled hamstring, it's Martini's turn. His first opportunity this year, and he makes a fine catch in front of Webster.
Martini caught one for 22 yards last week. So this is second. And Jim Breach with David Humm holding will try to cut that margin to 3 points. And off the high snap, he does just that. So the Raiders on the board. Here in the third quarter, it is now Seattle 10 and Oakland 7.
The new pension laws were driving me crazy, so I called the Connecticut General people. And did they come through for me?
Coming through for you. That's what CG people do.
We had some dental bills. Then my company got a Connecticut General Group dental plan. CG sure came through for us.
Coming through for you. That's what CG people do.
Call us. We'll come through for you, too.
A Super Bowl Steeler is tough to beat. But against the Steeler, I can't compete.
When a Steeler gets hit, it's got the guts to bounce back.
You turkey.
Uniroyal presents the Steeler Radial. It's built tough with 2 steel belts, and it's tough to beat when you look at its price.
To get to this year's Super Bowl, I'll just surround myself with 4 tough Steelers.
The Uniroyal Steeler. You want a tough tire at a price that's fair? You want Uniroyal there.
Next Saturday on the Game of the Week, Dave Parker and the Pirates square off against the Cubs in a key National League East matchup. The heavy-hitting Twins battle the Brewers. Check local listings for the game in your area. NBC Sports. We're proud.
Next Saturday here on NBC, the Pirates and Cubs from Wrigley in Chicago and Minnesota and Milwaukee. Both the Expos and the Pirates lost today. Expos losing in the first of a doubleheader, so the Bucks remain a half game in front as you watch Jeff Moore running it back. Moore with acceleration across the 20-yard line. He ran into a wall. Jeff Barnes, kind of linebacker among those to get to Moore.
And again, the special teams doing well on both clubs. This time only out to the 21-yard line. Neither team has had the excellent field position after a kickoff.
Getting back to the baseball, Mets beat the Pirates 3-0. Cardinals over Montreal 4-3 in the first of a doubleheader. 10-7 the score now. Seattle on top. A Stabler to Martini 12-yard pass play, putting the Raiders up on the board. Here is Zorn to throw on first down, and the screen is completed to Smith. Smith with no 35, 40, 45, 50, and out of bounds. That's the 45 and Oakland. Henry Williams able to push Sherman Smith out of bounds.
And they fooled Ted Hendricks that time on the screen pass. Watch big number 83, the Mad Stork. Lots of pressure on Zorn, and the Stork didn't even see the screen developing. And then Sherman Smith makes a nice move inside to get a long, long gain, 35 yards on that screen pass. Let's take a look at Hendricks. He's got to read that screen. He sees Zorn, and he's thinking quarterback sack, and you can see Sherman Smith sneaking right in behind him. And Zorn read it well, and a 35-yard gain works every time.
First down, they place it at the 44 of Oakland. Here's the draw with Dorning. Getting down to the 42-yard line, Dave Peer, the middle guard, number 74, 5-year man out of the University of Washington, a homecoming for Peer. He's able to make the stop. He was forced to buy a batch of tickets today for friends and relatives here in the Oakland, the Seattle area.
An outstanding trade by managing general partner Al Davis. He's really solidified the middle of that front three. Pear is an outstanding player, especially against the run.
And a couple of fine years of Tampa Bay, 2nd and 8th at the 42. And as you can see, all kinds of activity. Again, Zorn with a long count.
Zorn's going to trot over to the sideline and ask Jack Patera what happened.
Timeout has been called now by the Seahawks. We have 9:36 remaining in this third quarter. Seattle up by the score of 10-7, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Ram power. Dodge gives you Ram power.
Now Dodge pickups go beyond tough. They're Ram tough. The biggest maximum payloads. More than Ford or Chevy. The most brute power with its most fuel-efficient V8. And with optional 3-speed automatic. The best mileage ratings, too. More than Ford or Chevy. Now,
Dodge trucks are Ram tough.
RCA wants you to see the right color. Does your television automatically capture all the subtle shades of difference between this surfer in deep blue, this blue surfboard, and the blue Hawaiian surf? If not, wait till you see color, even color this close on Color Track 1980. Color Track 1980, with 8 automatic color systems designed to lock even subtle shades of color on track. RCA is making television better and better.
Opening tonight, it's the hilarious antics of the absent-minded professor. Then on the Sunday big event, a 3-hour spectacle, Bob Hope on the road to China, tonight.
Well, here is our 50-yard location at the King Dome in Seattle, Washington. Mike, always nice to work with you because normally I get put on the 20. And, this is, I appreciate it.
I've got some pull up here in Seattle.
Apparently, no penalty call. The timeout was granted to Seattle, so we resume 2nd and 8 at the 42-yard line, and Zorn tried to get away but could not, as Dave Browning was in that backfield in a hurry, and that is the first sack of the afternoon. Also a homecoming for 73. Browning, a 2-year man out of the University of Washington.
And Jim Zorn called timeout because he had problems with the play. He had a whole minute to find out what to do, and it was a busted play when he came back in.
Jim Zorn's statistics, very impressive here this afternoon. 197 yards, 8 out of 14. It is a 3rd and 9 at the 43. And Seattle now with the 3 wide receiver alignment. And Zorn goes for McCullum. McCullum across the 20. Out of the 10 and pushed out of bounds. Sam McCullum, who caught 3 last week against Miami, coming off his best pro season, is off to a super start.
Jim Zorn again with great protection, caught the Raiders in zone defense. And if you're going to beat a zone, you do it with a crossing pattern. Watch for 84 McCullum underneath the linebackers and in front of the defensive backs. And a great play. And again, that protection for Jim Zorn. Watch Dave Pear. Ron Coder, who is substituting for Bob Newton, does an excellent job.
It is 1st and goal just outside the 10-yard line. Dorning and Smith, the running backs. And Zorn looked like he wanted to go the quarterback draw, but had nowhere to go. Dave Pear clogging up the middle along with Ted Hendricks, the linebacker on the left side, coming in, and Zorn was fooled on that one.
I'll tell you, Jim Zorn did in fact fool him on the first quarterback draw, and we've talked about what kind of football player Dave Pear is. You don't fool him twice. He was right there to stuff Jim Zorn.
Loss of 3, 2nd and goal out at the 13-yard line. Jim Zorn in his 4th year as a pro out of California Poly in Pomona. 51% completion average thus far this season. Threw for a 2nd touchdown earlier today. Sherman Smith gets the call. And Smith with only a short yardage. Hit that. Rod Martin makes the stop, but a penalty flag has been thrown.
Again, Dave Pear there to plug everything up. That was a late flag. Could be holding. Personal foul.
Well, from the reaction of the Seahawk bench, it appears, yes, personal foul against Oakland.
Somebody using their helmet as a spear, piling on.
Seattle receiving a break right here. We have 8:21 remaining in the 3rd quarter. And the Seahawks lead it by the score of 10-7. Marv Albert and Mike Haffner from the Kingdom in Seattle, Washington.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 41 defense, automatic first down.
Well, it is Phil Villapiano, not a popular guy from an earlier move here today, called for the personal foul.
Watch for 41. Villapiano come in late. Oh, there it is. A slap to the head. John Yarno, the center, took a right cross, and the referee caught him. Phil Villapiano.
First and goal now at the 7 off the personal foul call. It's Rabel peeling left. And here's Zorn moving right. Turns the corner. And a penalty marker down as he gets within the 5-yard line. So Jim Zorn, looking to throw end zone, changed his mind and was brought down by Dave Pear.
A defensive holding call against the Raiders is my guess. One of the reasons that Zorn couldn't find a receiver was because one of his receivers were being held. Oh, it's against Seattle. Oh, well, I saw a holding penalty on defense, but they caught the Seahawks.
They will mark it off against the Seattle Seahawks.
Well, that's why I don't wear a striped shirt.
We were about to hear Gordon McCarter. Now here he is.
Holding, number 60, offense, penalty, the dead ball spot, repeat first down.
Ron Coder, the right guard for Seattle. There he is, number 60, 3-year pro out of Penn State, is called for the hold.
They got you now with that microphone. You can't go hide in the huddle.
It is first and goal back at the 13. That is Dornick in motion. Here's Smith. And Smith is bumped out at the 9-yard line. Hit by Monty Johnson, inside linebacker, on the left side. Picked up 4. It'll be a second and goal now from the 9.
Good lead block by Dornick that time. Every yard that Sherman Smith gained because of the block by his lead back Dornick.
That Seattle offensive line with Bullard and August at the tackles, Lynch and Coder at the guards, Yarno the center. The tight end is Peets. Smith and Dornick, the running backs. Smith has 36 yards, 10 carries. 80 is Largent in motion. Here's Dornick fighting his way down near the goal line. Villapiano with the tackle on the play. Right here, we pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
I wonder if the New York Giants are watching. Dan Dornick on the quick trap inside. Excellent block by Coder. Lots of drive and determination by this second-year player. What a pickup for Seattle, especially with Sims going down.
It is a third and goal at the 1-yard line. And here's Dornick, and he is hit back. Actually had no running room. The strong safety, Charles Phillips, coming up quickly to fill the hole.
Dornick deserved the carry, but the Raiders decided he wasn't getting in the end zone. Field goal time.
The crowd, as you can hear, would prefer the Seahawks go for the 6. But Jack Patera says no. And Efren Herrera will come on. Herrera hit from 46 yards earlier and had a field goal attempt blocked. He is 3 out of 5. This one from 20 yards out with Zorn to hold.
Watch out for the fake.
It is good. The Seattle Seahawks now with a 13-7 lead on the Oakland Raiders with 6 minutes and 37 seconds left in the third quarter.
Hey, see y'all down the road, Jack. If you're gonna move your family, you can save a lot of money by renting a truck. Moving yourself, and you might as well rent a real truck. A Ryder. Ryder isn't famous for renting cars, beep, beep, little trailers. Ryder's famous for trucks. Pro drivers will tell you that.
Okay, King of the Road. Just hold the lamp.
Hey, see y'all down the road, Jack.
Ryder, the best truck money can rent.
To soar like an eagle, free, every man's dream. So you'll go for it, making the most of now. From the life you live to the beer you drink. And since 1849, the beer that makes the most out of life is Schlitz.
When you're making it beer, make it this one here. Schlitz makes it great.
Go for it.
13-7 off the 20-yard field goal by Efren Herrera as he gets set to kick off to the combination of Ira Matthews and Derek Ramsey. That's Ramsey on the left and Matthews on the right. 61,602 on hand here at the Kingdome in Seattle. They had, let's see, 3,159 no-shows, which is not bad considering that the game is being televised in the Seattle area. Considering Mike Hafner's doing color, these people prefer to be here, Mike, in person.
I got 3,159 fans.
This is Matthews to the 15. 25 penalty markers down as he brings across the 25-yard line.
Whatever the penalty, it was very obvious. It looked like a confetti parade out there. 4 or 5 flags hit the ground.
Don Dufek making the stop on Matthews, and the hold is called on the Raiders. Third quarter, Dallas Cowboys leading the Chicago Bears 17-13.
Dallas having problems with that Chicago running game. Ooh, that's a surprise.
Told you earlier, Terry Bradshaw was carried off after injuring his ankle, and the Cardinals still in front. Third quarter, the Los Angeles Rams leading the San Francisco 49ers 14-10. San Diego leading Buffalo in the third quarter, 20-19.
Maybe Buffalo's 51-24 win over Cincinnati last week wasn't a fluke.
Buffalo coming off the big game for running back Roland Hooks. First and 10 down at the 13-yard line, and Stabler in traffic, able to get it away, but it brings to that whole line. It's intercepted. Terry Beeson, the middle linebacker, picking off the deflect, and the Seahawks with a huge turnover right here, and looking to take advantage as you look at a delighted Seattle head coach Jack Patera.
It had been Jim Zorn that was hampered by receivers dropping the football. This wasn't a bad throw by Kenny Stabler. It was, in fact, behind Branch. But Terry Beeson is right there. The old tip drill works every time. And once that ball hits you in the hands, you've got to catch it, or your quarterback will be victimized. And right there, Seattle gets the big turnover.
Beeson's first intercept of the season. Stabler has been picked off twice today. He's been intercepted 4 times this season. First down at the Oakland 21-yard line. And Zorn to throw on first down. And a great catch is made. Sensational catch by Steve Larkin. Lester Hayes was looking to cover. Oh, what a spectacular move by Larkin.
First of all, the pattern was designed to fool the cornerback. The ball was thrown to Largent even before the corner turned around to look at him. And now watch the concentration. Unbelievable. You know why this man caught 71 passes last year. Just a tremendous catch and concentration, and that buries the Oakland Raiders, at least for a while.
Here's Herrera to try for the extra point. Zorn to hold. And he puts it right through. Seattle taking advantage of the turnover. The pass deflecting off Cliff Branch, picked off by the middle linebacker Terry Beeson, takes it right in, and they now lead it by the score of 20-7. Mike, what was so spectacular about that catch, not only the reception, but while in the air, as you will see, he is able to push himself forward as he's in the air and able to come over off the defender and bring it home.
Lester Hayes never saw the football. Tremendous concentration by Largent. And watch what hits first. The ball in the end zone. Therefore, he scores. A great call by the officials. And I'll tell you, Steve Largent, the Houston Oilers must just be kicking themselves every time he catches a football. He was waived by the Oilers, picked up by Seattle, and has become one of the premier receivers in the National Football League.
Houston coach Bum Phillips, who is an honest man, the first to admit that that was a severe mistake by the Oiler organization.
And that's a very polite way to put it.
A couple of blanks within that sentence that we are editing for our young people out there in the audience. Zorn to Largent, 21 yards, and a 27 Seahawk lead as Herrera gets set to kick off. Once again, it is Matthews to the 15, 25, and tripped up as he got across the 25-yard line. Cornell Webster, who is just superb on the special teams, making the stop on Matthews. 6:05 left, third quarter here at the Kingdome, and the Seahawks with a 20-7 lead over the Oakland Raiders. Right at the start, we mentioned that both these ball clubs have been hard hit by injury, but the Raiders have really been hurting, particularly on that offensive line. A host of key guys out, including the latest injury, Morris Bradshaw, wide receiver, sitting it out because of a strained hamstring, replaced by Rich Martini, who's in there right now as Stabler throws that way, and Martini is able to pick it up, but he's short of the first down. 8-yard, perhaps a 9-yard pickup for Martini, stopped by Autry Beeman.
The San Diego Chargers have scored again, gone ahead of Buffalo 27-19. Clarence Williams on a 2-yard run. San Diego gets New England next week. That ought to be a battle.
Seattle Seahawks will play the Broncos in Denver next Sunday, and Mike and I will be there to bring it to portions of the country, while Oakland will be at Kansas City next week. This is Van Egan getting the first down and more across midfield and out of bounds, and a penalty flag thrown down. Van Egan running right by the Oakland bench, or rather the Seattle bench.
Mark Van Egan on the patented Oakland Raider weak side fullback rushing play. I mean, two fullbacks have gained over 1,000 yards. And now watch the official. He is going to protect Van Egan, and he can't hit him in that white stripe, which is out of bounds. He gave him an extra push. It'll cost you.
Number 44, John Harris, making contact with Van Egan. And they will mark it off severely against the Seattle Seahawks. As the crowd responds, here's Gordon McCarty.
Personal foul. Tackling late, out of bounds. Number 44, defense.
So it is John Harris, second-year man out of Arizona State. Young man named to most of the all-rookie teams last year. Called for the personal foul. First down at the Seattle 32. Martini wide open and drops it. Oh, he'll be thinking about that one all week long. Martini looking ahead. He had open field. He was in his own mind.
Kenny Stabler won't say a word to him when he comes back to the huddle. In a couple of plays, though, he might walk up to Martini and say, where do I have to throw it so you can catch it? I mean, there's no excuse for this. And Martini won't sleep for 2 days because he knows in the film room on Tuesday, they're going to say, what'd you do, Rich? Oh, my heart bleeds for receivers that drop those.
2nd and 10. And Stabler looking right again, and he goes right back to Martini. This time a nice catch for the first down. Webster on the tackle.
Smart play by Kenny Stabler. You've got a young receiver who just burned you by dropping one, and you'll find out if he can stay on this club because you throw him a tough one now in traffic, and Martini makes up for the drop, although he would have gone into the end zone on the one that got away.
Are those Cardinals for real? 21-7 now in the third quarter. And of course, the question remains about the injury status of Terry Bradshaw. Hurt his ankle earlier, was carried off by a stretcher. Steelers in trouble against the Cardinals. This is Robisky, and he fumbles the ball. And it's recovered by the Seahawks. Autry Beeman was all over that football. Another Oakland turnover. The Seahawks head it back.
A drop pass that might have resulted in a touchdown. Now a nice gain rushing by Robisky, and he fumbles, and Seattle has the ball back again. We have an injured player down for Seattle.
John Harris apparently shaken up. A timeout called. We'll pause for these words.
The AC Spark Plug buy 7 get 1 free sales on right now. Participating outlets where you see this poster.
Thanks, AC.
Americans are learning that if their car's plugs are misfiring, a tune-up with new AC Spark Plugs can help improve gas mileage. Thanks, AC. Now's the time to tune up because AC Delco is making it possible for you to get 8 AC Spark Plugs for the price of 7.
Thanks, AC.
Tune up with AC. Buy 7, get 1 free.
Thanks, AC.
If a man's lapel begins to rebel, and the pockets in his pants become losers, then he needs clothes from Levi's Sportswear. Levi's slacks, blazers, and suits hold their great looks because they're sewn to the tough standards that made the Levi's name famous for durability. Men's clothes from Levi's Sportswear, where quality never goes out of style.
Apparently, John Harris is all right. Seattle now taking over first down at their 15-yard line off the fumble recovery by Autry Beeman. Seahawks lead it by the score of 20-7. We're told Terry Bradshaw is back in the ball game, so apparently he is okay, which is good news, but the Steelers losing to the Cardinals. That is Largent peeling. Off the fake corner. Off guard and up to the 20-yard line. Dave Bronner. Jack Tatum make the stop. Very pretty statistics for Jim Zorn. 10 out of 16, 2 touchdowns, and of most significance, 0 interceptions.
And great catches by Steve Largent. And I want to commend our camera crew. They had that touchdown catch, that great catch, right on the money.
We will be seeing that replay over and over throughout the week. Just spectacular work. 2nd and 4, and Dornick again. Dan Dornick picks up the first down. Marquis Johnson, inside linebacker on the left side, making the stop, and this young man has had himself an excellent ball game.
In talking to the Seahawks prior to the game, with Sims going down, they were a little worried about the running game. 7 carries for 52 yards. Nothing to worry about.
As backup to the running back Sherman Smith and Dan Dornick, Jack Patera has Tony Benjamin, Al Hunter, and Jeff Moore, but it's been all Dornick and Smith right throughout. First down, 29, and this time it's Sherman Smith, stopped by Rod Martin, and the good fake by Jim Zorn. Oakland with 3 turnovers thus far this afternoon. And Seattle, a turnover-plagued ball club with none to this point.
That's the difference today. They had the big turnovers against San Diego and Miami, and today they have none. The Raiders 3. You pointed it out perfectly, Marv. The score shows it.
2nd and 10. Off the no-gainer by Smith at the Seattle 29-yard line. 2.5 remaining, 3rd quarter. Zorn will throw. He is really popped from behind. He got it off. It was intended for Dornick, who took his eye off the ball, but Zorn was really racked up.
One way to stop Jim Zorn from a big day passing is to put some pressure on him. He never saw it coming. From the backside, bang. And it's a good thing the arm was going forward, so it's counted as an incomplete pass.
Willie Jones, number 90, was all over Zorn, and that is Lewis Bullard, Seattle's left tackle, who is down and hurt. Bullard, a 2nd-year pro. out of Jackson State. And now a timeout has been called, an official timeout. A reminder that NBC Sports is introducing something new in children's programming, a new series that is called, appropriately enough, Timeout. It deals with physical fitness and health through sports. Now, Timeout will be aired between the various children's programs on the regular NBC Saturday morning lineup. And such NBC sports personalities as Bruce Jenner and Donna DeVerona, Merlin Olsen, Mike Adamle, John Neighbor, Nancy Thies will take part. That is Timeout here on NBC on Saturday mornings. The hand for Lewis Bullard.
Timeout's great for the young children now. The sports is becoming so important in our society, and this is an excellent opportunity for them to be appraised of what's going on in sports.
And I know, Mike, you won't be able to miss a beat in your regular viewing habits of the cartoons and the early morning shows.
I'm down there every morning on Saturday.
You'll be able to watch Timeout. It is a 3rd and 10 at the 29 as Bullard is replaced. Smith and Dorning are the running backs. That's Dorning. And is hit for a loss. It's one of the rare times this afternoon that the Seahawks could not get a thing going on a drive.
Raiders needed that ball, and they cinched it up on defense and finally stopped Seattle.
That'll be Weaver punting away to Ira Matthews. That hand from a contingent of fans from Oakland rooting on the Oakland Raider defensive unit. Another beautiful punt by Herman Weaver. Matthews out to the 30. Penalty marker down as he goes tight-roping along the sidelines. I'm not sure if he stayed in bounds as he brought it out to the 50, but there are 2 flags on the play. A 47-yard punt by Weaver, who has also been getting great hang time. Mark Bell of Seattle making the stop on that man. 43, Ira Matthews.
And I got the penalty. It's clipping against 31, Derek Johnson. Or Jensen, pardon me. And we'll find out if Gordon McCarter proves me out. I know it's clipping. Was it Jensen? We'll see.
Gordon does have that microphone working, so we'll hear in just a moment. Minute 28 remaining in this 3rd quarter. Seattle leading by the score of 20-7, and the Raiders will take over as we listen.
Personal foul, clipping, number 31, leaving team during the return. First down.
I knew I caught him. Thank you, Mr. McCarter. You proved me right.
1st and 10 down at the 15-yard line. As Stabler throws the right side, the play was whistled dead. It is incomplete. Intended for Martini in the race with Webster, but just as Ken Stabler took that snap, the whistles were blown, and again, penalty markers tossed down.
Illegal procedure against the Oakland Raiders. They jumped before the snap, and the play was dead as soon as the whistle blew. In fact, the Raiders now, 5 penalties, 6 penalties, 44 yards, and they have been hurt by penalties and turnovers today.
False start, number 66 offense, still first down.
Carl Eller, number 71, man who has been used primarily on passing situations. Great veteran of those Minnesota Viking teams, 16-year pro in the Seattle lineup right now. There's 71, bumped away as Stabler gets it away and completes it out at the 20 to Raymond Chester. Dave Brown making the stop on the play. They are short of a first down.
Carl Eller has been put into the game specifically for the pass rush, and obviously they knew that he was pass rushing. He's ridden right past Kenny Stabler, An outstanding job of protection, especially by Henry Lawrence, and also got some help from Van Egan and gave time for Stabler to complete that pass.
It is a 2nd and 4 at the 21. 40 seconds remaining in this third quarter. The Raiders are trailing 20-7. And Stabler will put it up again and completes for a first down to Chester. Sammy Green, the left linebacker, Autry Beeman combining to make the stop.
Kenny Stabler throws to the tight end as well as any quarterback that ever played in the National Football League. And in a 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4 situation, 2nd and 4, he will go to his tight end just like a running play.
That time he picked up a first down as you see the clock running down, and that will do it for this third quarter here in Seattle. 3 quarters in the book with the score. The Seattle Seahawks 20 and the Oakland Raiders 7. We'll be back in a moment.
Charles Levitans just got a Dodge Aspen and a $400 check from Chrysler Corporation.
We shopped all over.
The deal we got was excellent.
Aspen's a nice-sized car.
With good gas mileage.
And the check from Chrysler clinched it.
Now's the time to deal. Chrysler Corporation's giving dealers big cash incentives they can pass on to you. Only Chrysler tops your deal with a $400 check. Not Ford, not GM. Come to Dodge. Check it out.
Some guys never learn. They're still taking it on the chin. Gotcha. Norelco offers the Norelco rotary razor. Not 1 or 2 blades, but 36 blades inside 3 adjustable floating heads and a unique shaving angle for a very close shave without a nick or cut. So say hello to the Norelco rotary razor and say goodbye to Gotcha.
A lot of people think using Federal Express is complicated. But really, it's so simple, even a vice president can do it.
Hello, Federal.
All you do is pick up the phone. We come to your office and pick up the package. Well, even a president can do that.
Hello, Federal.
In fact, using Federal Express is so simple that even a chairman of the board can do it.
Hello!
Federal Express, when it absolutely, positively has to be there overnight.
To be an Olympic champion, it takes natural talent, hours and hours of practice, and a burning desire to be the best. But there's one other element that can't be overlooked: money. The cost of preparing a team for the Olympics is staggering, and we need your help, because America doesn't send athletes to the Olympics, Americans do. Send your contribution to U.S. Olympic Committee, Box 1980T, Cathedral Station, Boston. For $25 or more, you'll receive this Olympic tote bag. This message sponsored by the U.S. Olympic Committee and NBC.
Back at the Kingdome in Seattle, Washington. Capacity crowd on hand. In the area of 64,000. The Raiders with a first down at the 26. And here's Stabler on the move, and he swings it out, broken up. And a penalty marker down as Dave Casper was hit by 3 Seahawks. Autry Beeman, number 27, looked to be the man who hit him most severely, and we will have an interference call.
Oh, another Raider offensive lineman bites the dust. What Kenny Stabler was trying to do there was set up a screen pass. The screen did not develop. Seattle read it well, so he went to his out man, which is always the tight end on a screen. And Autry Beeman was caught for pass interference, and it was a good call.
On this Oakland drive, Raymond Chester has been a key, and he has now caught 7 for 53 yards.
Pass interference, number 27 defense, automatic first down.
As you would expect, not particularly well received here at the Kingdome.
Again, Kenny Stabler trying to set up the screen. Arthur Whittington never gets out to do the screen pass. He's tied up. And now watch. He is hit before the ball gets to him, Casper, and Beeman is called, and rightly so, for pass interference. And the fans can see it. Now there are no boos. They saw that it was pass interference.
Fans able to view it on the replay on the big screen that is off to our left. While they continue to tend to Gene Upshaw, we're going to pause with 14:54 left in the fourth quarter and Seattle in front.
Radio Shack has slashed the price on one of our top-of-the-line stereo systems. Right now, save $310 on this impressive realistic hi-fi. You get this quality AM/FM stereo receiver, a pair of realistic tower speakers, and this precision belt drive turntable, all for only $579. A great entertainment bargain and a beautiful addition to your home. The sale price realistic stereo system, just $579, only at Radio Shack, a Tandy company.
All mufflers are not created equal. Take a Walker muffler. Over the years, it helps your engine run efficiently, which means it helps you get the most for your gasoline dollars. Why? Because it's been engineered specifically for your car. That's why I put on Walker. A Walker exhaust system helps your car perform at its best, so you can get the most for your gasoline dollars. Just look for the Walker sign at service stations and garages everywhere.
Right off the draw on 1st and 10 from the 31-yard line. Arthur Whittington just picked up the yard, stopped by Sammy Green, so it is a 2nd and 9 at the 32. 5 defensive backs for Seattle in the nickel defense, and Stabler looks to throw it. He guns it down for Branch, and a great catch by Clifton. Oh, a spectacular leaping catch as he was double covered, and Branch off the long gainer brings to the 24.
And Cliff Branch all day has been the deep receiver. Kenny Stabler gets time on this pass play. And again, he lays it right on the button against double coverage. Kerry Justin, the 5th back in. Dave Brown thought he had the ball, but an outstanding job of concentration by the speedy Branch. The Raiders are right back in it. Another look. This time from the end zone, and you'll see the concentration by Branch. He watched it right into his hands, took it right away from Dave Brown.
44-yard pass play. Branch was caught 5 for 130 yards. Here's Stabler going for the end zone to the tight end. No! Casper not able to hold on. He had it, and as he made contact with the ground, he lost it.
Casper, again, another study in concentration by a receiver. Stabler had him wide open on the crossing pattern against the zone defense. And the hard ground. Played the best defensive back. Right there, the ball slips out of his hands. Couldn't hold on. Must have control of the football when you come down, no matter whether it's in the end zone or short of it. You have to have control of the ball before they'll give you 6 points.
It is a 2nd and 10 at the 24. We're early 4th quarter. The Raiders in possession, trailing 20-7 as Van Egan takes the left side and has run out of bounds at the 19. Kerry Justin, the left cornerback.
Again, the weak side fullback running play that the Raiders are so famous for. And now watch, Kerry Justin, the 5th back in again. Van Egan shifts the ball so he can use the straight arm. You don't see it very often in the NFL anymore. And he got 4 extra yards because of the stiff arm on Justin. Good camera work. I love it.
It is a 3rd and 5 at the 19-yard line. Defensively, it is Price, Hardy, Tuiao, Sissoko, and Gregory up front. Seattle goes with the extra defensive back. That is Kerry Justin. Stabler throws for the end zone for Martini, and it's batted away. Rich Martini, well covered by Cornell Webster.
And we have talked about Cornell Webster before. What an athlete. Martini had him beat deep on the corner route. Stabler saw it, but Webster was able to gather himself and make an outstanding play. That was a touchdown to Martini if it hadn't have been for Cornell Webster, 38.
It is now a 4th and 5 and a field goal attempt upcoming for Jim Breach, first-year pro out of the University of California. He is 2 for 4 on the year. From 50 yards out earlier, he hit the crossbar. This one is good. It is a 41-yard field goal for Breach, and the Raiders are now trailing by the score of 20-10.
Today, National Car Rental is one of the big 3 car rental companies. But getting there wasn't easy. Most of our customers came from the other guys. Why? Maybe it's the top condition of our cars. Maybe it's our terrific counter people.
Your car's ready, sir.
Thank you.
The other guys tell you how good they are. But if they're so good, how did we get so big? National Car Rental. Maybe we're better.
Antifreeze. You never think about it, or how it has to protect somebody beside you, or what could happen without it. Stranded in freezing weather and no help for miles. Don't trust your luck. Don't trust the weather. Take out old, weak antifreeze now and put your trust in Prestone too. More people trust Prestone than all other brands combined.
I've been worried about you.
More people trust Prestone. And when you flush your cooling system, trust Prestone Super Flush.
Wednesday, you'll see a food catering service you just won't believe.
This is the head table, sir.
Plus, the hottest pom-pom girls is the Dallas Cheerleaders on Real People.
Ray Guy getting set to kick off following the field goal by Breach. Jeff Moore and Al Hunter are back. And this is Moore coming up to kick. And he stopped at the 22-yard line. Mike Davis making the tackle. The Seahawks will go to work as we check the scoreboard. The Broncos, who take on Seattle at home next Sunday, defeating Atlanta. The Jets, after the wipeout of New England last Sunday, able to come back against Detroit. And the Patriots having some difficulty, but getting by Cincinnati this afternoon. Philly over New Orleans, 26-14. Cleveland beating Baltimore 13-10. Miami doing it to Minnesota 27-12. Tampa Bay over Green Bay 21-10. First and 10 at the 23-yard line for the Seahawks. Here is Zorn, who has had an outstanding day, swinging it on Sherman Smith, not able to hold on. Couple more scores to throw at you. San Diego over Buffalo in the fourth quarter, 27-19. And Tampa Bay, as we mentioned, over Green Bay, 21-10.
And I'll mention that Broncos score was in overtime, Marv.
Houston beating Kansas City 20-6. The Raiders will be at Kansas City next Sunday. 12:53 left, fourth quarter. This is Marv Albert with Mike Hafner from the Kingdome in Seattle.
Raiders have got to stop Seattle on this drive. They hope to turn the momentum and get back into this football game.
Smith and Jordan, the running backs. That's Largent coming across. And here's Smith. Stopped by Willie Jones. Getting back to the line of scrimmage. That's it. Lewis Bullard, who was injured earlier, is through for the day. Hurt his knee. We are not sure how serious the injury is. Arcune has come on as the right guard, and Ron Coder has moved over to left tackle. So it's Kuhn and Lynch at the guards, and August and Coder at the tackles.
Patched up offensive lines for both clubs. And I see Upshaw sitting on the bench. I don't know whether he'll return.
Third down play for Zorn. Here's Zorn throwing on the run, looking for McCullum, and it is off the mark. It was out of bounds. McCullum was covered by number 37, the left cornerback Lester Hayes. And it will be a punting situation, so Herman Weaver comes on.
This was just a totally wasted pass by Jim Zorn. He was lucky it wasn't picked off. It was a hope pass. You throw it up, hope somebody with the right colored jersey catches it. Fortunately, it was out of bounds. McCullum, the intended receiver, but Hayes knocks it away and no chance.
Could be a costly series for Seattle. Oakland gets the ball back right here. And if they can bring it in, the ball game changes around completely. Ira Matthews back deep, awaiting this Herman Weaver punt. He has had an outstanding day. Another good one, driving Matthews back. Takes it at the 23. And is in big trouble. 54-yard punt by Weaver, who is doing wonders for that average. Tony Benjamin making the tackle along with Cornell Webster on Ira Matthews, who had nowhere to run. A reminder tonight on NBC, Bob Hope on the road to China 3-hour special featuring Crystal Gale, Shields and Yarnell, and Big Bird. It was recorded entirely in the People's Republic of China. That is tonight, 8 o'clock Pacific time, here on NBC.
And I saw some of the previews on the Johnny Carson show, and it ought to be funny, and Bob Hope's always good.
You stay up that late, Marshall?
Certainly.
First down at the 24-yard line. Montreal Expos, St. Louis Cardinals tied at 1 in the second game. Expos lost the first. They're in the 7th inning, tied at 1-1. Oakland Raiders, first down at the 24. Stabler throwing again and is able to complete for a first down. Rich Martini stopped by Terry Beeson, the middle linebacker. And except for that one drop where Martini had daylight in front of him, he's had a good afternoon.
And the Raiders are happy because Gene Upshaw is back at the starting left guard spot, and that'll help in their drive to get back in this game.
Upshaw and Medlin at the guards, Lawrence and Sylvester at the tackles, Dalby the center. First down for Stabler and the Raiders at the 37. Stabler throws sideline and completes to Chester. Chester pushed out by Michael Jackson, right side linebacker. So Stabler is 20 for 32.
Stabler now putting a lot of pressure on the Seahawk defense, especially the two young tackles, Hardy and Tuiasosopo, because they know he's going to throw, and they've got to come after him and get him.
That was the 8th reception by Raymond Chester. Pickup of 4, 2nd and 6 at the 41. Running backs are split. Van Egan, the blocker now, as Stabler is in trouble, and let's see what they call him. Penalty marker down. Looked to be an incomplete pass because that arm did cock and he did follow through.
Again, tremendous pressure put on by the Seahawks. I mentioned the two young tackles, the #1 draft choice, Tuiasosopo and Hardy. We'll find out what that flag's for. Pressure causes holding every time. It's amazing. A man the size of Tuiasosopo with what great speed he has. The outside pass rush on the game's a twist with Gregory. And he'll come around. Stabler finds his receiver not open, tries to pull it down. There's the big guy. Stabler's arm was going forward, so it was incomplete, but the holding penalty will take the Raiders back.
Tuiasosopo goes 6'3", 252 pounds.
And can break 5 flat in the 40, which is awful quick.
#1 draft pick of Seattle out of UCLA. You saw that replay. Carl Eller also all over Ken Stabler.
Seahawks are no dummies. They know they're going to throw.
10:24 left in the 4th quarter. Raiders trailing by the score of 20-10, and now they mark it off.
Holding, number 68, offense. Repeats.
Dan Medlin, the right guard for the Oakland Raiders, man who is replacing the injured Mickey Marvin, who is out with a swollen knee. It's called for the hold, so they play it over 2nd and 16 at the 31-yard line. 5 defensive backs for Seattle. And Branch able, no, let's see if they call it a completed pass, then he fumbled. Yes, that's the call, and it's recovered by Seattle. Terry Justin, a second-year pro out of Oregon State, on the recovery. Branch had it. He was spun around, and it's one of those situations where you have to wait and see what the call is. It was called completed pass.
We'll see if he has control. Branch has the ball, makes a turn, a step. Oh, yes, he had plenty of time. And then it just slipped out of his hands, and Justin was there. Johnny on the spot to pick it up.
That is the 4th Oakland turnover. The Seahawks get it back now with 10:16 remaining, 4th quarter.
Time to trade in for TouchTune. At your Magnavox dealer now. Trade in your old set for Magnavox TouchTune color television and save big. TouchTune television with a sharper color picture than ever before possible. And just for touching TouchTune television, you'll be handed free this official National Football League manual. It's trade-in for touch-tune time. Trade and save at your Magnavox dealer now.
Ram Power.
Next Saturday, NBC Sports. We're proud.
This Saturday on Sports World, the FINA World Cup diving from the Woodlands Country Club near Houston, Texas, featuring many of the world's top international divers, and the USAC Dirt Car Racing 100-mile race from the 1-mile dirt track at the DuQuoin, Illinois Fairgrounds. Sports World now Saturdays here on NBC. This coming Saturday at 5 o'clock. First and 10 at the 43 off that last Raider turnover. Seahawks with the 20-10 lead, able to take over, and this is Dorning who is stacked up. Dave Browning, the right defensive end, along with the middle guard Dave Pear, combining to make the tackle. Jones, Pear, and Browning up front. For Oakland, Hendricks, Johnson, Villapiano, and Martin, the linebackers. In the corners, Hayes and Williams. Williams replacing the injured Monty Jackson, and the safety men are Tatum and Phillips. Dorning picked up about 2. It's a 2nd and 8 at the 41-yard line. Just under 10 left in the fourth quarter.
Seahawks can make it difficult for Oakland if they can get some points on the board.
This is Smith on the sweep. Trying to cut back, could not. Gets to the 39. 2-yard advance, so it will be a 3rd and 6 with Monty Johnson, the inside linebacker on the left, making the stop on Sherman Smith.
This is the must down for the Raider defense. They've got to stop him here, Marv.
That is a final. The Chargers defeating the Buffalo Bills 27-19.
San Diego had their hands full today, but they're 3-0 and leading the AFC West. 2 teams right here are interested in that score.
Bills now 1 up, 2 down. Here's the 3rd and 6, and Zorn to throw. One-hand catch by Dorning right at the first down marker. He swept it in with the right hand. Monty Johnson making the stop. Beautiful catch.
Zorn again one-on-one with the linebacker with his fullback Dorning. Watch him stick out that hand and say thank you. Oh, what control. Great catch and an important first down for the Seahawks.
That's a combination of good hands and perhaps some stickum.
A little bit of luck, too.
Sure, yes. All right, 88 is Brian Peets, the tight end. Checking back in. First down, picked up by Dorning. At the Oakland 32-yard line, we have 8 minutes remaining, fourth quarter. And Seattle leading it by the score of 20-10 off 2 touchdown pass plays. Number 80, the man in motion, Largent combining with Zorn. This is Smith, the delay. Gets to the 27-yard line. Stopped by the combination of linebacker Johnson and the middle guard Pear.
Again, a very conservative drive by the Seattle Seahawks. And they want to run the time down and keep the Raiders from having the ball because they can get back in the game quickly.
There you see 2nd and 5 at the 27. Smith, 42 yards, 15 carries. Last week picked up 59 yards against Miami on 11 carries. Caught 7 passes for 80 yards. Gives you a balanced ball game. Excellent receiver out of the backfield along with the running game. Again, Largent in motion. And the handoff to Dorning, stopped for a loss. Lost a yard on the play. Rod Martin, outside linebacker on the right. Able to put the clutches around Dan Dorning, but a penalty marker has been thrown.
The Raiders taking some chances now, and Martin was blitzing on that play, the reason for the loss. There's a look at Jack Patera. He's not happy about that flag. Or is he?
No, he should be. It's a personal foul. He's just not giving us the expression.
He's and it's on the Raiders. He is happy.
It is
Flores isn't.
Very difficult to read from expressions of coaches in the National Football League. You can take a look at a guy, you don't know if he's winning or losing. But this one is against Oakland.
Could be a crushing penalty.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 45 on the defense.
It is Henry Williams, the rookie quarterback out of San Diego State, who was called for the personal foul in Seattle. Now with a first down at the 14-yard line.
We got another 15-yard penalty for something that was said.
Well, they've tacked another on. So the Seahawks now with a 1st and goal at the 7.
And again, the Seahawks are doing it to the Raiders. Last year they beat them twice. They're after it again this year.
Unsportsmanlike conduct penalty tacked on. That is Sherman Smith on the carry, but a penalty flag thrown.
I didn't pick up the number of that second unsportsmanlike conduct.
We'll try to get it.
Henry Williams, the cornerback, is the one that was called.
So Williams upset about the initial call for the personal foul, then had something to say to one of the officials, and they tacked it on, which certainly did not make that man very happy. However, in this penalty-filled 4th quarter, this one being assessed on Seattle.
The Raiders have been penalized 9 times for 81 yards. Seattle 8 times.
Holding, number 76, offense, repeat first down.
It is Steve August, the Seattle right tackle, who is called for the hold. So it is a 1st and goal coming from the 17-yard line.
1st and goal, 17.
Seattle in possession. They lead the Raiders 20-10. 1st and goal from the 17-yard line for the Seahawks. And this is Dan Dorning, who is stopped. Stopped by Willie Jones, the left defensive end. Marv Albert with Mike Haffner from the Kingdom in Seattle. It has been a splendid afternoon for Seattle quarterback Jim Zorn, coming off the disappointing start over the first 2 games. He has hooked up twice with Steve Largent, and hit Largent particularly in this 3rd quarter with a spectacular catch made by Largent. Mike, we'll take another look.
Steve Largent, 71 catches last year, and you will see why. He is one of the premier receivers in the National Football League. Up over the top of Lester Hayes, he bounces in the end zone for a score. He's one of the best.
Back live, 2nd and goal from the 16. And this is Largent again inside the 5. Stopped by the right quarterback, Henry Williams.
Steve Largent has been a big part of this game today. 2 touchdown receptions, and look at that. I mean, you can't make a quarterback look any better. And here he is again in this important drive. The Seahawks trying to put it away against the Raiders. This play, just the last play that took the Seahawks down to the 4-yard line. Steve Largent again. What a day he's having.
It is 1st and goal now for the Seahawks down at the 4-yard line. We have 5:50 left in the 4th quarter.
5 receptions for Largent, 139 yards. That's the best afternoon in yardage in his career.
Dan Dorning, Sherman Smith are the running backs. Zorn with a 1st and goal. The give to Smith. Tries to cut back and does, and brings close to the goal line. Dave Pear, the middle guard, making the stop on the play. And now, with the crowd urging the Seahawks to go for it, it is a 4th and goal. And Jack Patera, the Seahawk coach, will do just that. He sent in the extra wide receiver. Steve Rabel has come on. Now Largent departs, so Rabel has come on for Largent for this 4th and goal down at the 1.
With 5 minutes to go in the game and a 10-point lead, this is a smart move by Jack Patera. He can put the Raiders away with a score.
Long count by Zorn once again. Here is Dorning, and he is stopped. Dan Dorning tried the middle. The strong safety, Charles Phillips, able to come up to make the stop. So the Seahawks fail on the 4th and goal from the 1.
They could have had a field goal in that situation, but I think they would much rather see the Raiders start from the 1-yard line and have to go 99 to get back in the game as the Raiders trail 20-10.
They hope Oakland Raiders take over now with 4:42 left in the fourth quarter. Kenny Stabler has done quite a bit of throwing here this afternoon, and we are going to see more of that now. 1st and 10 from the 1. Whittington looking to bring it out. Michael Jackson, right side linebacker, making the stop on the play. Stabler thus far is 22 for 34 for 301 yards. So he has now thrown for 300 yards or more 6 times in his career.
He's one of the premier quarterbacks in the NFL, and that play by Whittington is exactly what you want in that situation on your own 1. You want a big gain to give yourself some room and try and get back in the football game.
It is a 2nd and 1 at the 10. Now the 1st down and more picked up by Van Egan. John Harris, the free safety, making the stop on Mark Van Egan. 3:55 left in the fourth quarter.
Stabler's got to put it up now. He's got the room with 3:49 left in the game. Trailing by 10, he's got to get on the board fast with anything.
A look at the statistics of Ken Stabler. 305 yards now, but 2 interceptions in there. Here's Stabler unleashing. He's got the 1st down, completing to Cliff Branch. Autry Beeman there to make the stop, and it's a 1st down for the Raiders at their 34-yard line.
Again, the Seahawks are not going to let anyone get deep, especially with the speed of Cliff Branch. So the place that's open, underneath the coverage, Branch wide open. Seahawks will give that pass up. They don't want any scoring passes.
Martini to the right, and Branch slot right. Stabler goes left and completes to Chester for another Oakland 1st down. Dave Brown, the right cornerback, makes the stop. Clock continues to run. Oakland has its 3 timeouts. We now have 2:45 left. Again, the Raiders to the line of scrimmage in a hurry. Martini right. Branch also off to the right side. Van Egan and Whittington are the running backs. And Stabler looking right. Bullets one, and it is completed to Martini. We'll have to wait and see where they mark the football. It is another 1st down. It was covered by Webster, who pushed him back the other way. Raiders again quickly to the line.
Stabler, a smart quarterback. He's taken what they give him, and he's got to get down the field. Now he's going to call timeout. Nope, not yet. After this play, though, he's signaled his players.
He is sacked by Bill Gregory. So Gregory comes up with Seattle's 2nd sack of the day. And Stabler is hurt. Ken Stabler, who took a beating last week at the hands of the San Diego Chargers, has received good protection throughout the day. But that time, Bill Gregory all over the quarterback, 33-year-old, 10-year pro out of Alabama. Ken Stabler, Jim Plunkett now getting set to loosen up.
There's a prime example of the problems the Raiders have had at left tackle. They're playing a guard there, Steve Sylvester. He was beaten that time by Gregory, and it might have cost him the quarterback for a while.
Big hand for Ken Stabler, who is coming over to the sidelines. And look at those statistics. 25 for 37, 343 yards. But where it counts, only 10 points on the scoreboard.
There's Gregory. Nobody even touches him. And Stabler hasn't got a chance. And he drives him into the AstroTurf. And Kenny, I'm surprised he got up.
Jim Plunkett has come on as we get the 2-minute warning. And so a timeout with 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter. And Seattle leading Oakland by the score of 20-10.
You've come to fly before the wind, harnessed to a wildcat, suspended above the waves like the man on the flying trapeze, straining to get every ounce out of her, and moving so fast, the mast begins to sing.
most out of life is Schlitz. That's why every day, millions of times a day, America reaches for a Schlitz.
When you're making it beer, make it this one here. Schlitz makes it great.
Go for it.
2 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. And Jim Plunkett, who was 3 for 7 last Sunday against the San Diego Chargers, has come on replacing Ken Stabler, who was hit hard and obviously hurting off that last sack by Bill Gregory. Now there is Stabler over at the Oakland bench. Plunkett, the 9-year pro out of Stanford, 31 years old, former New England Patriot, former San Francisco 49er. Here's Plunkett to throw, first down. Plunkett able to get it away, and it is nearly intercepted. 57 is Peter Cronin. Art Whittington, the intended receiver, and that ball was thrown off the mark.
Kenny Stabler up off the bench. Will he return? I think he wants to go back in. He's asking head coach Tom Flores right now if he can get back in the game.
It is a 3rd and 20 upcoming from the 47-yard line of Oakland. Plunkett will remain in there. Minute 54 left, fourth quarter. Big rush. Plunkett being chased. He went down. The ball was deflected away by Cronin. Carl Eller all over the quarterback, Jim Plunkett.
Tuiasa Sopo patting the 37-year-old veteran on the head. Said, where'd you get that speed at your age?
Kenny Stabler not looking very happy. And apparently he's all right, though. He was shaken up by Gregory, but looks to be okay. So a minute and 46 remaining in this fourth quarter. Martini goes to the right. Branch slot right. It is a 4th down situation. Raiders obviously just going to hang on to the football and try to pick up the first down with the long gainer here. Penalty marker is down as Plunkett gets it away, and it is nearly intercepted. Peter Cronin's been all over the football in this series. Knocked it away from Rich Martini. Although Cronin would have liked to have picked it off, but there is a penalty marker down.
Tuiasa Sopo put on a great pass rush, and we're going to get a holding penalty against the Raiders, I think.
While we have an opportunity, I'd like to thank our spotters, John Taylor and Gary Moore, our statistician, Jack Prote. Excellent job all around. Having to spend
offside, middle guard on defense, holding, number 68, offense. The play is nullified. Repeat, 4th down.
I didn't see the offside, but I did see the holding. So they'll play it again, 4th and 20.
They will do it again. Dan Medlin was called for the hold, number 68, the right guard, and Manu Tuiasa Sopo called for Seattle.
No wonder he got such a good pass rush. He jumped the count.
Again, 4th and 20. Plunkett this time to his right, looking for a receiver, being chased, and just flings it underhand. And it's caught by Dave Casper. Unbelievable.
Oh, I don't believe that. He looked like a softball pitcher.
Crowd with a very strange reaction, not sure as to what they just saw. Let's get another look.
Jim Plunkett under tremendous pressure. Gregory. Then he's chased out of the pocket. Eller turns around and chases. Tuiasa Sopo is going to grab him. There he is. Now he just throws it up in the air with no idea where it's going. Dave Casper right there. And I still don't believe it.
Mike, that is not a play they have worked on.
Let's watch the Jim Plunkett form. Here's how to be a softball pitcher. Underhand. There it goes.
Well, they were short of the first down, so Seattle takes over with a minute and 28 remaining in this fourth quarter. Here's Dornick. Reggie Kinlaw in on the stop.
Let me explain what happened. We'll do it when we come back.
To make way for the 80s, your Dodge dealer has to sell a lot of cars, trucks, and vans. And that's why Chrysler Corporation gave dealers the biggest cash incentives in Chrysler's history. Big discounts they can pass on to you. Come and see the low prices marked right on those cars, trucks, and vans. You'll get what may be the best deal you ever made. And only Chrysler Corporation tops your deal with a $400 check. Not Ford, not GM. Come to Dodge and check it out.
Dining a la Sheraton.
Taste Sheraton. Taste Sheraton.
Relaxing a la Sheraton.
Come to a Sheraton show place.
Wine cellars a la Sheraton.
Style, we've got style.
Room service a la Sheraton.
Come for a visit and stay for a while.
Entertainment a la Sheraton.
You're sure to leave with a smile on your face. We've got taste. We've got taste. We've got taste.
Mike, a moment ago we saw that bizarre underhand pass by Jim Plunkett, and apparently they have ruled it not a completion.
It's the new rule in the National Football League to protect the quarterback. The referee felt that Tuiasosopo had control of Jim Plunkett, blew the whistle, the ball was dead there, it's considered a sack, and no forward pass. Good example of the new rule.
It was a fourth down play, so therefore the Seahawks took over. They now are 2nd and 10 at the 47-yard line. Here's Dornick looking to go wide, try to cut, in trouble, down he goes. A reminder, there will not be a post-game show because of the length of this game, so we will try and duck in scores as we wrap up here with 1:14 remaining in the fourth quarter. Denver over Atlanta, that in overtime, 20-17.
Jim Turner a field goal.
Jets beating Detroit, bouncing back from last week. We'll continue the scoreboard rundown in a moment. Another timeout has been called, so we'll be back after this. Apparently we are able to stay here to provide further rundown of the scoreboard. Right here we are wrapping up with Seattle in front 20-10. New England defeated Cincinnati earlier, 2014. Philly over New Orleans. Cleveland nipping Baltimore 13-10.
Browns 3-0.
Miami knocking off Minnesota. Tampa Bay over Green Bay.
Big NFC Central game.
And there's Houston over Kansas City. Chiefs play the Raiders at home next week. San Diego hitting Buffalo. Dallas over Chicago. And we're back to resume action here with 1:14 remaining in this fourth quarter. This time it is Sherman Smith trying the middle to the 45. Rod Martin, outside linebacker on the right, making the stop, and a timeout called by Oakland. And right here, we'll pause back after these messages.
One's too strong, one's too light, one's just wrong, one's not quite. It's no fun until you find the one that hits you just right.
Menon Skin Bracers got the nice, clean smell you're looking for in an aftershave. Skin Bracers got those skin tighteners and chin chillers that really wake you up. And there's nothing heavy-handed about it.
Thanks. I needed that.
Skin Bracer hits you just right.
Hey, how was the monster that ate Tokyo?
It made me scared. It made me hungry.
Then you're going for a burger?
Have you seen the price of burgers lately?
We're going to Kentucky Fried Chicken.
At the Colonel's, I know we always get fresh quality chicken.
Now, this is a good meal at a price that makes good sense. Right, son?
Right.
It's so nice, nice to feel. So good about a meal. So good about Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Herman Weaver now getting set to punt. And it is an 11-man rush. Weaver's going to throw. Herman Weaver able to complete to Cornell Webster. Let's check that one again.
And take that in your face, Oakland Raiders. Herman Weaver, one of the better punters in the National Football League, and he's got Webster wide open on this big punt. Webster almost all the way. The back judge will count it as down. It was not a fumble. The Seahawks have the ball inside the 5-yard line.
Lester Hayes able to catch Weaver. First and goal at the 5. This has been an outstanding season for punters completing passes. Dave Jennings of the New York Giants was able to get one off a couple of weeks ago. There's a happy Herman Weaver. Punters always are trying to prove that they can do more. That's one that Herman will be talking about.
Look at that smile on his face. And I'll tell you, the Raiders will remember that play when the Seahawks go back to Oakland.
The announcement on the public address in his second pass in his National Football League career.
And
the Steelers, with 49 seconds left in the fourth quarter, have taken a lead on St. Louis 24-21. Right here, 42 seconds remaining. First and goal at the 5. Sherman Smith loses yardage on the play. Filipiano making the stop on Smith. The executive producer of NBC's football is Don Olmeyer. The telecast of today's game produced by Mike Weissman, directed by Ken Fouts, and our associate director, Dave Williams.
Both clubs today over 300 yards in passing. We've had an exciting game. Seahawks leading 20-10.
Zorn hitting Largent twice as time runs down, and apparently the Seahawks, let's see, Zorn throws deep, and he's got Smith for the touchdown. Sherman Smith with time running down. I was about to say, Mike, apparently Zorn would not look for the QB. There's the stuff move by Smith, and you know the Raiders do not appreciate this at all.
I wouldn't like to be the Seahawks going to Oakland Coliseum, but they have their rematch. They'll remember this final drive.
There is head coach Tom Flores
noting in his diary exactly what happened.
So Jim Zorn with his third touchdown pass of the day. There is no time remaining as Herrera will try for the extra point. And Herrera puts it through, so the Seattle Seahawks have defeated the Oakland Raiders by the score of 27-10, and the Seahawks win their first of the year. They are 1 up and 2 down. The Oakland Raiders, same record, 1-2. Marv Albert with Mike Hafner saying so long from Seattle.
Promotional fee has been paid to NBC by United Airlines. United's building the largest airline in the world around you. Fly the friendly skies.
Again, that final score, Seattle defeating Oakland 27-10. Big weekend of football coming up here on NBC next week. Hope you're with us.
Joton Baker is Chief Eyeshine in Only the Pretty Girls Die, Friday, September 21st.
Watch prices fall. This Monday only at Frederick & Nelson's Sealy Posturepedic mattress sale. $99 per piece, twin size. First quality Sealy Posturepedic mattresses and box springs. That's Monday only from 9:30 till 9 at every Frederick & Nelson store. Watch the prices all fall down and save big on the best night's sleep you've ever had.
This is Quality Control at Crescent Foods. Hi, I'm Bob Robertson. If you think sports are tough, meet Crescent's food technologists. They're demanding because Crescent's customers are. Like school cafeterias, big hospitals, bakeries, fast food restaurants. When these people prepare food, it's got to be right, just like in your kitchen. Crescent, it's the word for flavor.
Glass Doctor installs windshields wherever you park.
Join us for King 5 News at 5:30 and 11.
It's Cougar Football 79 with Cougar head football coach Jim Walden. I'm Bob Robertson.
All right, here we go. I got the ball up here. I'm standing sideways, and I threw my thumb down and out. It's almost falling straight through. Heads up. All right. Now, if it's a longer pass or if it's a harder pass, you want to open up your step and really take a long step towards the receiver, okay? So if Steve Largent was running down the field and he was about 20 or 30 yards down, instead of just stepping like that and throwing the ball, I would step like that and throw him the ball. I would really open up my step and let it fly. All right, I picked you out, Wendy. Here we go. Now you're going to throw. All right, now you've already got the grip. Okay, that's good. You might want to put your finger just a little more across that. There you go. Not quite. Okay. Now, hold this hand down here so you kind of support the ball with it. All right, here we go, Bill. Wendy's got it down already. I can't believe it. All right, she threw a spiral. All right, Mitch, let's try it. All right. Let me see your grip. That's excellent. Turn your hand around. Let me see your thumb. Now, can you hold it with two hands like that? Can you hold it with one hand like that? All right. Let's see you throw it. Okay, that was good. Here's what you have a tendency to do. You went. Okay? It's right here. Just stand here, step, and throw. Okay? Keep it up. Don't try to burn him out now. Just try to throw it to him. That's it. That's perfect. All right? Nice shot.
Thanks a lot, Jim. Come on, I want to show you guys a room that's important to all the Seahawks. This is a room the Seahawks spend plenty of time in, the weight room. We want to make sure that we keep our weight under control and that we're building up lots of strength in our muscles, and this is the place we do it. We've got a lot of specialized equipment here in the weight room. For instance, the leg extension to build up the front part of your thigh. We've also got the leg curl to build up your hamstring. Okay, we've got the lateral raise to build up the outside of your shoulder here. It's also a good exercise for guys that have had shoulder injuries before. Also, we've got the incline bench press to build up the muscles that are across your chest to help you push off and get away from those defenders. You know, the Seahawks don't lift just to increase their strength either. It's to help prevent injuries during the season.
Well, how does that help prevent injuries?
Well, I think a better man to ask that question would be Jim Weitzel, our trainer.
Hi, kids.
Hi.
You know, machines themselves can't help prevent injuries. It's the person on the machine doing good hard work is what helps prevent injuries. We do this by increasing our players' strength in their lower legs. We increase their strength in 3 phases. We increase strength through extension and strength through flexion, which is pulling back, and also we work on power. And this is very, very important for football players. Tony Benjamin was injured in the Miami football game 2 years ago in 1977. Since that time, he's spent a lot of time with the trainers in our room here working on several different exercises. The Cybex, which you see and which we're working with now, is just one small exercise that Tony's been doing for the last 2 years to make his knee stronger so that he can play this next year. As you can see, his leg is attached to this lever arm. Tony then is going to move against that lever arm up and down. As you can see from these types of readings, we can get a very, very good picture of what Tony's strength and power is. Okay, Steve, we're going to really build those deltoids today. Keep working hard. Kids, this is how we build the upper body strength in some of our football players. We're going to let Steve work here until his muscles start to get a little bit fatigued. As soon as that happens, then I'm going to grab him and work him myself till he entirely fatigues. Okay, here we go, Steve. Hold it up there. Pull down. I'm going to pull down against him. Okay, up. Hold it right there, Steve. This is how we build upper body strength. Kids, this is Sherman Smith. As you can see, we like to tie in the use of free weights as well as the use of our Nautilus equipment and other exercising modalities.
Thanks a lot, Jim. You know, there's going to be a lot of new faces in the Seahawk camp this year, and in just a minute, we're going to get a chance to meet a couple of them.
The Northwest Ford dealers wanted the toughest man in all the Northwest to test their pickup, and Coach Jack Patera was that man. Now, while Jack is discovering how rugged this truck is, we want you to know what a great bargain it is. Now you can save up to $350 off Explorer option packages. Well, Jack, what do you think?
She's tough, all right. Looks good, too.
And, Jack, wherever you go, there's always a Northwest Ford dealer behind you.
Make this a money-saving fall, starting now at Sears Fall Home Appliance Sale. Super values on many Sears home appliances. Save $40 on this Kenmore washer. $70 to $100 on these Kenmore refrigerators. Save $50 on the Sears Color TV. $70 on this Kenmore microwave oven. Save big. Hurry to Sears Fall Home Appliance Sale now.
Kenmore, solid as Sears.
Choose from Lucky's over 200 meat cuts. Or if you've got a crowd coming over, check out Magnapack savings. For real meat value, Lucky has it.
Radiant, the Seattle Symphony Orchestra's lustrous new season, with an array of concerts to fit your family's interest and schedule. Try the fun of the informal Wednesday night half series or the Saturday morning musical Galaxy series. Enjoy the sound of Seattle, our symphony. For prices, call 447-4736.
Each of the 28 National Football League teams have a chance to pick from the top college players graduating last spring in the NFL draft. The Seahawks had the 18th choice, and they chose a big defensive lineman.
The Seahawks' number 1 selection is Manu Tuiasosopo, M-A-N-U-T-U-I-A-S-O-S-O-P-O, defensive tackle, UCLA, 6'3", 252 pounds.
So he could meet with the Seahawks press right away, Manu flew up from Los Angeles that afternoon.
He should have been at my home about 4 hours ago or whenever they called me. It was like an earthquake in our house. First of all, I'd just like to say I'm deeply honored and extremely happy that Seattle Seahawks organization had the confidence to draft me in the first round.
Manu wasn't the only new player the Seahawks picked up in the draft. They got 9 choices in all. There's also players who aren't drafted called free agents that have a shot at making the team as well. All of these first-year players are called rookies. They came to Seattle in April for a rookie orientation. The first thing the Seahawks wanted to do was to show them around the town. They did that by taking all the rookies on a cruise of Lake Union and Elliott Bay. It was a good chance for the coaches and Seahawks staff to get to know each of the new players. In most cases, the next time they would see each other would be at training camp. In the middle of July, we all take off for training camp in Cheney, Washington, just a few miles west of Spokane. The reason we leave the Seattle area is so everybody gets away from all the distractions back home. There's nothing to think about in Cheney but football. But just a few weeks before the first preseason game, training camp is serious business. This line of posts set in the ground are for special exercises we do called Apollo. They help us stretch our muscles before we work out, something that's important for all the athletes to do. Our offensive players here are in the blue jerseys, the defensive players in white. The rookies are easy to spot. They've all got their names taped on their helmets. There are over 80 players working out in training camp, but only 45 make the team. So rookies and veterans alike are fighting for positions on the squad. There's more to training camp than conditioning and hitting. It's a time for instruction, too. Every year, the Seahawks add new plays and new systems. Training camp's the place to get all that straightened out before the season starts.
You know the one they've been running, where they either run out of eye or far, and most teams will run out of eye or far, the belly series. The rip series would actually be called the belly series. The companion play off that is what they're going to call 20 and 21, and it's wham blocking. And wham blocking means a back blocking a defensive lineman, okay? So, and they're going to full block it. Now, this is the key, because the center's going to block back here on the tackle, and this guy's going to come around on Mike, and they're going to fake here, and I don't know if which way he's going to turn, but he's going to get back here to the halfback, and they're going to run right up the middle.
The Seahawks have a lot of fans in Eastern Washington. Some of them come out to watch us practice. Once in a while, we get a special guest, like Washington's Governor, Dixie Lee Ray. She was at Spokane for a meeting, and she stopped by to watch a workout.
Bounce up, our third bill, all right. Go! Ah, yeah. All right.
We always have a lot of sunny weather during camp, and the sun brings the heat. This year, we had several days of over 100 degrees. That makes practice a grueling experience. We do get some pleasant surprises at training camp, though, like this van full of popsicles. Don't you think that was a welcome sight? Football today is a game of specialists, like place kicking. Hey, there's a guy that really made a big difference in the Seahawks this year, Efren Herrera, our place kicker. How many games did Efren win in the last seconds?
Time has almost run out on the Seahawks. The kick looks good, and Herrera has beaten the Vikings. The Seahawks need this field goal to beat Kansas City. It looks long enough, and it's good. Seattle can beat Oakland for a second time this year if Herrera can just split the uprights. It looks long enough. It's right down the middle, and Seattle takes Oakland twice in 78.
Hey, Efren, maybe you could give us a few tips on kicking soccer style.
Okay, why don't you hold one? Just hold it as straight as you can. Just like that. That's how it's hold. This is how it's kicked. Okay, to be able to make a kick, to follow through, the first thing you got to remember is to have your left foot even with the ball in this direction right in there. And last but not least, as soon as you make contact with the ball, you got to follow through so that your ball will not hook or do anything. Remember the most important thing, the left step, right even with the ball, pointing to the goalpost and following through. That's about what it makes a good kick. Okay, why don't you try it one?
Okay.
Oh, that's not bad. That's a good kick. The thing you got to do now is try to keep your eye on the ball. Don't follow the ball. The fans will tell you if it was good or not. So you stay your head down, keep your eyes on the ball, and just follow through. Okay, this time let's try another one.
Okay.
That's better. That's a lot better. As you probably noticed, there was a lot more height into it, and you followed through, the ball went straight to where you wanted, and there was a lot of height in it. That was a good kick. Okay, Abigail, why don't you try one, and Mitch, why don't you hold one for her? Okay, let's see if you can kick. Back up a little more, about right there. Look at the ball and just follow through. Now, that's a good kick. That was a good height, and you put your step into it, which was good, and you follow through, and the ball took off. That was a good kick. That's what it takes to be a kicker.
Thanks, Efren. Most of you guys know the Seahawks as football players. But what you didn't know is a lot of them have some hidden talents.